Is there a TV?
No,
7.5.
13. Thank you. Welcome everyone to the May 13th Conservation Commission here meeting at the Bellingham Municipal Center and basis online for those that are authorized to be online. We do have a member tonight, Pam, who is online, so we will be doing roll call votes for anything that needs to be voted on, just to meet open meeting law. And we will open with the first item on the agenda, which is a new meeting for an RDA for Rentham Road, ROW pole 15-73, replacement of a pole within a 100-foot buffer zone to BBW. Matthew Todd is from Waltham is the applicant, and representative is Jalen Knight from SWCA Environmental Consultants. Is anyone here from there? I see Jalen online.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good. Am I pronouncing that right, Jalen?
Yes.
Good. Okay, thanks. Welcome. So you'll be representing tonight for the applicant, and if you want to just outline briefly what you're proposing to do.
Yeah, do you guys want me to share my screen at all for the figures, or do you guys have all that?
I just enabled sharing, so if you
Yeah.
want to just have
You
it
can
up,
pop it
just
up
while
if
you're
you'd like.
waiting for.
Okay, perfect. All right, so for this project, it's just a typical utility pole replacement. National Grid currently has right here, pole 1573. That's just a 35-4 pole that they'll be installing and replacing with a 40-20 pole. We did delineate this wetland right here. This was a BBW at the closest point. I think it was flag 106, which is right here. It was within,
Are you moving a mouse around? Because we aren't seeing it, I don't think, on the screen, or if it is, it's very
it might
small.
be really faint.
Yeah, there. Oh, yeah, I do see something moving in the middle there.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, just right here is
Okay, yeah.
106 for the flag. That was roughly about 20 feet to the closest BVW flag from the pole. So we are within the 0 to 25 foot with a total of 2.5 square feet for temporary impacts. And then the entire project is within the 100-year flood zone. But there will be no permanent impacts for that as well.
Mhm. Okay. Timing wise, you're gonna do this in the driest time possible?
Yes, they're hoping to have a quick turnaround with it.
Probably not this week because I think it's gonna be dry tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay. Questions for the commission members? From the commission member, not for them.
No, not me.
It's straightforward.
Yeah.
And, oh, didn't say how they're gonna access in. How are you gonna be accessing into that pole location from the?
So this
Your street?
yellow road right here is already
Oh,
an
that's-
existing paved road. So all the
Okay.
staging and everything will be happening from that paved access road. So they won't be staging any vehicles or equipment on the grass or anything like that.
Okay, great. Yeah, and the plan I'm looking at, it almost looks like a gray road instead of the yellow one, but I guess that's an outline border.
Yeah.
Okay, other questions? Thoughts?
Spill kits. Yeah, no,
Okay.
straightforward.
Let's see, do we mention, so I will accept the motion for the RDA if someone else to make it.
You want me to make a recommendation?
Recommendation.
Just, what we
That's
typically
fine.
kind of have for the pole replacements.
Right.
So for a +6, because the utility pole replacement is exempt for 3 times meeting the 10.02 under the Wetlands Protection Act. And then a -5 and a -6 with conditions.
And this is being read to the record from the,
This is just a draft policy, or a draft DOA, for what we typically
Right.
issue for pole replacements. So the conditions would just include, that the commission will be notified of the commencement date. The work will be conducted in compliance with the National Grid's environmental guidance document, utilizing the most effective best management practices. The applicant may remove encroaching branches less than or equal to 5 inches diameter within 10 feet of the utility poles if necessary. And upon completion of the proposed work, all disturbed areas should be stabilized and the site returned to existing conditions. Erosion control shall remain in place until such time the site is stabilized.
you're notified. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Can we add a condition or a recommendation to like contact the DPW or coordinate this work with DPW since it's on water supply land?
I don't know if they need, yeah, I mean, we can add it. We can add it.
Doesn't hurt to keep them informed. Do with
There's-
the information what they will.
New wells, they just.
Yeah, it's right next to it, not far from the wells.
I think it's the service pole for the well house.
Yeah.
So on that same note, I think Grid's environmental BMP policies include these, but I would like them written in our conditions. No refueling on the property of any of their equipment, and then spill kits, not in their vehicles, but at the actual work area.
Perfect.
Pretty straightforward. Any other recommendations? Okay. So we have those, I will ask you to read them up again.
Yeah.
Recommendations from the, what's the heading on the, just from the document you're reading from, just so we can refer that.
Determination of applicability.
Sure. I think DOA. And I will accept a motion
So moved.
as per Anna's reading of it. And a second from anyone? Second. Second, Steve, thank you. And discussion? Pam,
Aye.
James,
I'll abstain.
okay, Steve? Aye.
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 Nicole?
Aye.
And Mike, aye. All right. One abstention and, 6 ayes, so that's good. Thank you, Jalen. I think we're all set now. You've got your, hearing, I mean, you've, presented the information well, and I think it's pretty straightforward, so, Hannah, will you be sending that to him? Hannah will be sending that, determination of applicability, signed off form to you shortly.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a nice night. Thank
You as well.
Okay, while we're signing that, passing that along, I'll go on to the next one, which is a continued hearing for a notice of intent for 455 Hartford Avenue. Map for lot 72, alteration of the 100-foot buffer zone to DPW for the construction of a commercial building, including infrastructure, stormwater management, features, and site grading. Moshe TF and the applicant and Representative Doug Dillon from Goddard is on site and.
Hey there. So my colleague Doug Dillon is he has another one tonight. So I'm sitting in his place this evening. So I'm Mitch Maslanka. I'm a wetland scientist at Goddard Consulting. I've been involved with this property, 455 Hartford Ave, for about 5 or so years with the applicant, Moshe Tyus of Darn Properties LLC. He's with us here in the back row with his son Ruben. And we also have the project civil engineer, Dan American with Legacy Engineering. And so if we have any questions for him, he can answer them. We were before the commission a couple of months ago for the initial presentation of the site plans. And the commission had provided some comments that we have addressed in revised site plan sets, as well as addressing comments from DEP, which we have also submitted short reports addressing those comments as well. I can go over those revisions briefly. But in the end, I believe we will have had all of the comments addressed, and we would be requesting a vote for the issuance of order conditions this evening. So I'll go over DEP comments first because those weren't available at the last hearing. So those, in short, were requesting some investigation of the isolated vegetative wetland on site to see if it potentially had amphibian breeding habitat to determine if it could potentially be a vernal pool. Based on my prior site visits over the course of the years, there is an area that does occasionally pool, but only for a few days or so or weeks, not enough to provide breeding habitat for vernal pools, which we have several wildlife biologists on staff who also confirmed that that area would not be suitable for breeding of amphibian species. The IVW itself does not actually pool, so there's no breeding habitat there either. The other questions requested to field verify the wetland delineation shown on the site plan. And that was confirmed in the field. Hannah, the conservation agent, you visited the site with my colleague Doug.
There was one flag, if I remember.
There's one flag adjustment, yep, that shifted up 5 or so feet. And that adjusted the buffer zone, which in turn, Dan American from Legacy Engineering was able to just simply adjust the basin shape for the infiltration basin. So we still have work remaining outside of the 50-foot buffer zone throughout the entirety of the site, which is great. So then the final one was regarding the infiltration basin at grade, and wanted a detail on the plan that would capture the idea that the berm is to be they have a more dense build, less permeable
breach, yeah.
so that it would not breach during large storm events.
How high is from the grade around the outside of the berm?
I could check the plan. Do you know off the top of your head, Dan?
It's only 2 feet.
Okay, I knew it was in the report, in the response from you, I saw that it was very low, but that wasn't stated quantitatively, and I just thought I'd get a quick check off. So it's about 2 feet on the outside if you were standing outside of it. Yeah, elevation, that's up, okay. Okay, that I think addressed all the DEP thing that I saw. And the moving flag was one of our comments, and what was the other one? There was, I think, is there a second?
You had made some earlier comments, but they had addressed, there were some stormwater concerns that you had,
Snow,
Yeah.
and
storage and.
Yeah,
which I
We had
believe those were
yeah,
done.
We had signs and deep sump structures on the 2 inlet paths to the stormwater basin.
Right, okay. And refresh my memory is that the land, the resource areas, to the right side of the plan, that's what I'm looking at, it, right, I'm trying to say east or west.
behind.
Yeah, behind the, is that going to be restricted to conservation? Was there some talk about that initially, or was that the
Off
previous?
property.
No, that's off property, and I thought some of the property here, not as a condition of it, but as a offering or whatever, and it might have been even the previous project.
Oh, the no disturb area?
Something.
Yes,
marked
they
it-
maintained that, and then they maintained the 50. So there were a couple areas from a previous, there was a violation on the site, and then they restored portions of it. And then there were a couple areas that were limited as no disturb areas perpetually. So those are
Perpetually,
still on here.
Okay, so this is, okay, good, thank you. Any other questions or observations or?
How high was the retaining wall in the back?
Oh, it's only 18 inches, I think.
Yeah, right, I thought it was fairly.
It's very short.
2.5, it says on there.
Thanks.
Don't convert that to metric for you.
2.5. Yep, that's at the highest point. That's only about a third of the wall. And then it tapers down on either end to 0.
We discussed, and I think this may have been brought up a moment ago, and signage on the sides and the back to stop somebody from dumping snow. Okay,
Yep, those have been added to the plan.
Yeah, on the layout sheet, there are no snow storage signs across the back. There's a fence around the stormwater basin, so that
At the bottom of the base,
precludes
but
that.
what's to keep somebody from accidentally just driving carelessly? Not that a fence would stop them, a vehicle will go through the fence, but guardrail, I think, is there anything around the backside as you go around the right side of the building there? And across the back that, you know, not somebody's gonna be speeding at 90 miles an hour, it's a sharp turn, but there's no, I couldn't see in the detail there, or on the plan there, it's too small.
We don't have a guardrail proposed,
So it's just blacktops with a curb.
Cape cover.
There's cover, okay. Okay, any questions? Pam, any questions?
No, none right
Okay.
now.
Alright. Well, then, I will ask for, excuse me, a member of the commission to make a motion
Like, can I just
after
clarify?
Hannah has clarified something for
Thank
us, which will be helpful.
So I did draft the special conditions for this, which are, you know, mostly just our
Standard.
standard conditions. The only thing I did want to note that I just noticed today, when I was getting this together to put on the site, was, I think we had talked about, because we have a typical condition for the prohibition of salts, pesticides, fertilizers, herbicides within the 100 foot, and then de-icing chemicals. The operation and maintenance plan does reference some use of both of those, so I just wanted to
Oh.
clarify that before the
I was actually looking.
order. Yeah, so I added when I was uploading stuff today. I just uploaded the operation and maintenance plan in the portal as well, just so you guys can take a look, but.
I mean, our preference is not for a prohibition on de-icing. We feel that from a pedestrian safety standpoint, you need to use some amount of de-icing, but it should be minimal.
Also, ideally as far away as possible from, like, in the front of the building where you're having the walkway and people are parking maybe, as opposed to around the back where you're at the top of a slope that doesn't have anything but a Cape Cod berm to keep whatever melts and runs off and freezes, whatever, going down into, start in going down into the direction we don't want. I'm open to thoughts on that, people, because right now it looks like on paper, at least, there's a conflict.
are there two openings in the Cape Cod burn on the south edge?
Yes.
I think it needs to be restricted because the Charles River has TMDL for phosphorus and
Yeah,
that's one
that-
of the sources of phosphorus.
The phrase minimal has no measurable limit.
I agree with that.
How about limiting it to walkways?
We limit it to like a sand as opposed to salt.
Well, a prohibition would end up being sand.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
De-icing chemical is a chemical, salt are a chemical, sand is just dirt.
Certainly not the most desirable, but then again, you're squeezing this into a fairly tight site as opposed to being wide, far away from sensitive areas. So that's for the commission members, but what your feeling is.
We go back one, why is the burn open in those two corners?
Because it leads to the stormwater basin. That's where all the runoff goes to the stormwater.
Okay.
basin.
And one of them leads to a newly proposed sump basin.
Both of them do, yeah, they have a deep sump structure with a hooded outlet.
I see members still looking at screens and so forth, so I want to give you a chance to not rush into additional comments, but I'd like to have a consensus or a motion made or something to address the issue that Hannah brought up with the icing and salt and or treatment. now's the time. to
Just,
put-
yeah, I mean.
Now the time to put it
I just
into-
know the operation and maintenance plan has one thing and our typical set of conditions has one other thing, so
Right.
I just wanted to clarify that, so we don't.
Well,
run into
I don't
problems.
think we've ever said to anyone when making conditions on a job where there is a, not that I can recall anyway, where there's an order, where there's a operating maintenance manual. If there's something about the manual we haven't stated in the order of conditions, you must change the manual. I assume that if we put in terms which in the notice, the order of conditions states that no salts or de-icing agents are to be used on the property, then that would that, I guess is what I'm asking, override the operating maintenance manual?
Yes, it would.
It would, okay.
It just makes it a little bit, if people are using it and then that like. This
Yeah, if there's-
reduces
well,
the chance of
I
that.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
when you go to the who's gonna be taking care of the property, and you get to the guy who's, or lady who's taking care of the property on a snowy day, and they have the operating maintenance manual posted on the wall of their room with all the supplies are in, and they see that, they're gonna not be looking for an, notice of intent or order of conditions to additionally look at, probably they'll look at whatever's handiest, so if they see one thing and it seems to say it's okay to use that, they're gonna go ahead and use it, I mean. So,
Can we say something like? The O and M plan should be consistent with the residual designation for the Charles River watershed?
I mean, I'm not sure what that means, so I think it would just be easier to
Spell it out.
spell out.
This
if-
part of
if-
Hartford Ave isn't like a no salt area, right? So the DPW is gonna be using
Yeah.
salt anyway, all these homeowners are using salt. In my opinion, this is kind of moot, regardless if they use it here, it's still gonna be well above what the Charles can handle just with what's ongoing currently.
yeah, any other,
My opinion.
yep, any other opinions?
Or well above what the Charles can handle.
Like the Charles is already at total maximum, is what you're saying for phosphorus?
Well, I'm saying as a TMDL established for phosphorus
Okay.
and a bunch of other stuff, but.
Our stormwater basins achieve a 60% total phosphorus removal by infiltrating, capturing and infiltrating more than the first inch of runoff.
All done.
So is that basin 2 feet deep?
Yes.
2 feet on the outside from the
2
ground
feet
down.
on one side.
I'm trying to, it looks like the parking lot's at 204.5. The outer edge of the basin of the 204, the inner side of the 202. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, so the stormwater basin itself is 2 feet deep from the top of the berm to the bottom of the
Okay.
basin. Parking lot's gonna be a little bit higher than that. Not by much.
And Hartford Ave itself is 205.
Yes. Hartford has a separate drainage system.
Right.
It's curved and has its own drainage system.
So, Mr. Chair, it sounds like we've got.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if
Okay.
everybody's finished looking what they want, I don't like rush it of somebody making a motion and having vote, but has everybody questioned of the
Yeah, I
applicants?
think
Right,
that-
enough to form an opinion on whether you want to make a motion that would include something changed, because it has to be changed in the current order of
Yeah,
conditions.
I would just like do a little like poll straw vote on whether to include that in the condition or not, and then take a vote on the overall.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Alright.
The restriction on de-icing?
Yeah,
So-
and well, I guess separately herbicides, fertilizers, unless you guys are just fine with restricting that in general.
That would be my preference.
Restricting all of them?
It's,
That-
well, I
that's not- that's
support,
not a safety concern as much as de-icing is.
Right, it's more of an environmental concern as far as just being that close to sensitive areas to not have added chemicals to the site.
well, it's at its limit because not enough restrictions were put in place back when.
Right.
So
Well, we can only deal with the site we're on right now, and we know that the situation around it is not great necessarily, but the question is whether you want to add, potentially down the road, have it added to, restricted and not have that site be able to add to it, or something else, because those are our choices for tonight.
My position would be restricted. To-
I see an area nodding your head. I've seen James already express it.
So, just to put out there, I agree that it should be restricted with the exception of the sidewalk in the front for the entrances into the buildings because of public safety on the sidewalk
And there's a sidewalk that goes out to Hartford.
and the sidewalk that goes on top of it. I'm just thinking for
So
walking
from the parking
condition.
lot, sidewalks, you
Yeah,
recommend from parking area to the sidewalk, sidewalks as well as the one down the street.
Right, but sand only in the parking lot itself and the driveway around it.
I
I'm gonna pick up on that. So the sidewalk out to Hartford, I know what sidewalks are for. But what is gonna be in this building that people are walking down Hartford to walk in to here?
We're not planning that there would be extensive foot traffic, but that would be the accessible route from the building to Hartford Ave.
Just curious, that planning board requirement? So
Yeah, it's
people
part
aren't
of,
walking-
it's
so people
something
aren't
we
forced to walk on a driveway. where they might
developed
get
with
by
the
car.
planning board, but yes.
That's great. Okay, well, we have some alternative suggestions for order of conditions. Somebody wants to move this along, they just need to make some sort of.
Did Pam make a note?
Pam, I see nothing in the way of hand raised, but you feel free to speak up. What's your thoughts on this?
I would be in favor of fully restricting and only using sand, including on the sidewalk.
Okay. So it seems like most of the commission members are in favor of some sort of restrictions, but there is some differentiation between that, so. It looks like we are going to be putting some sort of additional order of conditions in. Now you need to get a little more specific.
So it sounds like the options so far are full sand, sand on the parking lot, but the sideways can be
Sidewalks,
salted
right.
I think those are the
And-
two.
and just allowing full treatment.
Right, but that's the
Those are
third
the
option.
three
Just leave it as it is.
So it sounds like we got
Okay.
two.
Would sand be
Mhm.
sufficient for people walking on, like? Provide traction.
Sand provides traction, just doesn't melt anything.
Right.
And climate promoted.
And what?
Climate promoted.
Climate change, well, yeah, eventually.
I mean, if it's sufficient in the parking lot, why is it not sufficient on the sidewalk?
That many people don't use.
Well, it's a maintenance issue too.
Cars
The
don't
more
spray.
sand you have down, well, the salt is not free from this either, but the more you're tracking into the building and so forth, some ongoing maintenance issue, cost, it's cleanup. So, but there's trade-offs to both chemicals and sand for maintenance, I know, because it's building stuff. But we still need to have somebody make an initial recommendation for what their favorite is and see if there's enough votes to get that on. And you also need to mention, if you are planning on doing this, whether you want to include pesticides, herbicides, and what was the other thing?
Well, it sounds like we already.
we all
include-
agree.
We all agree.
Everybody agreed to
Okay.
include that.
So mention that as part of it because it's
Looks
not,
like we're two, and
Yeah,
what did you say, Steve?
No, Pam, could you restate your position again, please?
She said full restriction.
Yeah,
There's
full
motion right
restriction.
there.
Okay, so
Pam, is that a motion?
Yes, I move to fully restrict the use of de-icing on the sidewalk and in the parking lot due to,
Second.
This is vote on just the condition.
Okay,
okay, we have a motion and a second to just restrict it to sand and on-site, and basically, that covers everything. Any other comments, questions? And we have a second from Steve, I think. Okay, we'll go to roll call vote. Pam,
I,
Nicole,
Aye.
Don,
Nay.
Ariane,
Aye.
Steve,
aye,
Nay.
okay, so 2 nays. I can abstain because there's a clear majority.
I think we need.
Oh, there you go,
There
okay.
were four. One, two, three, four.
Oh,
One,
wait, I
two,
thought,
three, and then
That's
four.
oh, sorry.
Don't forget about
Okay,
Pam.
all right.
did you forget me,
Yeah.
Emma?
I didn't forget about
Made the
Pam.
motion.
Yeah.
I can't see you, I'm sorry.
All right, so on that order of conditions, we have that. Now, we still need to see about the notice of intent overall, correct?
Yeah, so now we've got all the conditions squared away, and now it's just the vote on issuing.
So I'll accept a motion to close the hearing and issue a notice of intent.
Order.
Sorry, order of conditions, order order of conditions, for 455 Hartford Avenue. Someone wants to make that motion.
With the conditions we've discussed.
With the conditions that we discussed.
Second.
Okay.
Want to fight?
Whoever Caitlin picks out of the audio recording, she can pick. They're so close, I couldn't call it. Okay, we have motion and second. Any other discussion? No discussions, okay. Again, roll call vote. Nicole,
Aye.
Pam,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Ariane,
Aye.
Steve.
Aye.
James.
Aye.
There, okay, and the ayes vote. Hey, gentlemen, not everything you were looking for, but you have your requested and hoped for closing of the hearing and issuing of a order of conditions. So
Awesome. Thank you very much.
thank you very much for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good luck with the
Thanks for your time.
project.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is notice of continued hearing for Blackstone Street. Alteration of bordering vegetated wetland, DVW, and associated 100-foot buffer zone for improvements to the undeveloped section of Blackstone Street, including infrastructure, utilities, and site grading. Liz Petrosi, Wall Street Development is the applicant.
We are not sure we have too much to talk about tonight, but thanks. Last time we met, we were talking about the buffer zone in and around the detention basin. And we also were talking about making a list of documents for peer reviewer to look at if the commission so desires to have them look at that information.
Was that list sent to them recently or
Yes,
Right.
on Friday.
on Friday? Okay.
So at the commission's pleasure, I guess, you know, those documents have been submitted for quite some time in most cases. We did recently submit we recently submitted a evaluation of the 25-foot disturbance zone. And we submitted a revised restoration plan, some added plantings within the 25-foot zone. I can show this
around the infiltration basin?
around the basin, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the specific plans that were. That came with a map, right, with the plans?
Yeah, the
plans were
yeah.
the little box above, okay.
Right.
So I
So
make sure that's what's current one I saw.
I'll just put this up just for discussion. So essentially, this is the basin, we're inside the 25-foot in two areas. We're supplementing the area that's in the 25-foot area with some additional plantings and things in an area that is very sparsely vegetated to begin with. Hannah was nice enough to walk with us that day out into that particular area. So it's all part of our proposal for the incursion into that 25-foot area.
One of the questions I think that was asked to you or your rep last time was the maintenance of the infiltration basin. Being an infiltration basin needs to not get overly vegetated, and while you did state I believe that the plantings would be up on the upper slope, so to speak, of the basin around the two areas that are marked with the green circles, and that yellowish area to the south, I guess it is.
Yeah.
It also, that it wouldn't be down in the basin, the base of the basin itself, so that I want to make sure, excuse me, the commission members didn't have some additional questions or thoughts about that, because I'm not sure that the commission members agreed with that, disagreed with that, had other thoughts about that. Because it needs to be maintained and
Well,
somebody
here's-
followed and so forth, and so it will continue to drain and to infiltrate properly.
Well, what needs to be maintained is this this pathway around the basin so that it can be accessed with equipment if something were to happen to it, you know, in terms of plugging or malfunctioning or, but the inside of the basin, in the developments that I'm doing now, I'm having them maintained because the town won't maintain them. And that means when I say maintain, we cut them, cut grass, keep it trimmed, looks nice. Not required of us to do that, but I do it. And we have a homeowners association that takes care of that part of it. But this area here on the top of the basin is, I think it's a 10-foot wide travel area, access path, I'd call it. That is required to provide access to these outlet structures so that they can get in. Other than that, the area that's on the slopes, that would just grow. We're only concerned about the inside of the basins as a functional aspect. I don't want, you know, weeds or trees or, you know, if you leave them unmaintained, you're gonna have,
Right.
you're gonna have stuff
I
that
think
will
that
grow
was
in
the
it.
question that was asked of you,
Yeah.
how we can make sure that that does get maintained so it functions properly. Well, is that 10-foot wide travel area level?
Yeah, it's a level path. Yeah, it's it's sort of like it's a berm and goes.
Yeah.
You know, like if you look at the basins that like down by the high school or what's that elementary school at the corner of North and no, corner of Blackstone
The middle school?
and
The Memorial School?
yeah.
Yeah,
it's-
middle
That thing has never maintained. That thing has never been
Yeah.
maintained. You
So
get a
it's
fence around it and it looks like
It's
it's like a mess.
Unfortunately,
So-
State. on it.
w- I don't particularly like those things. I mean, yeah, they're required. We like to, you know, we're required to put them in. They certainly benefit stormwater management, but you gotta really kind of maintain them in order for them to not become, you know, an eyesore or a detriment. So,
And that would be the homeowners association in this case, since it's private development.
yeah, right now it is, yeah. So, the stuff that's on the side slopes or inside where the 25-foot area, those will all grow. As they grow in terms of the plantings and so on and so forth, so. But down in this area here where we're proposing to. Add plantings, that was selected particularly because. In that area, there's relatively nothing there. Very sparsely. Vegetated with, what did it say, you know, ferns or something. But it's in the report, it's
Well, sparse but naturally vegetated, so it would be disturbed by putting all the
well,
grading and everything in.
well, where the plantings are going, that's really, you're digging a hole, it's not really disturbing it, you're digging a hole, putting a plant in, you know, it's not like you're bringing a piece of equipment in there and you're disturbing it from that standpoint, but. The other areas where the plantings are up on the slopes. Certainly that area is disturbed because there's a slope there and then they'll be planted on, you know, plants will be on top of the.
And the entirety of the basin will be disturbed because you gotta dig it out, stone and everything else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's primarily it. The other thing was, we talked about locating some, certain diameter trees along the edge of the vernal pool, which has been done, but has not been lauded on the plan. So
Be documented.
what our intention would be is to submit a final set of plans with all of the things that we've committed to for the next, a week before the next meeting, and have the commission, you know, I don't think that we can do much more talking about this thing, other than what we've done so far, so,
So one of the questions was, or that was asked of you, or one of the things that was asked of you last time was, could you provide explicit, I think was the word I used when I was trying to make sure you got it. reference to what the waivers were. This was put in Field and Thomas recommendations too. So not just that I want some waivers, and one was the 25-foot pushing it into the infiltrate basin. Another was an alternatives analysis, which you did provide some information for, but according to both Beals and Thomas and what and I followed up on, it wasn't explicit about what exactly you're saying. So I thought at the last meeting was made clear that you were understanding that we would want to actually see it spelled out, what it is that you're asking for the waiver, so we can respond and vote on and decide on whether we want to grant a waiver for specific as possible things, as opposed to the more vague.
And I did provide that memo with, red line.
Yeah, Lou, can I clarify?
Yeah, what was?
It was in, so not this most recent submission, but the one before that. So it's not here, but it's in that package of information that still hasn't been reviewed by Beals.
Right, I didn't think necessarily Beals would have reviewed that, but because it
Yeah.
was relatively recent that was asked for, and especially since the list was just sent to them of the other documentation they would look for. But what was do you remember one of the days that I did look through a bunch of stuff and I must have missed, especially those red
Very
lines.
specific, because I even redlined,
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not disputing that you said it, I just must have missed it. I don't know if any of the commission members saw it. Did any of the commission members see what we're referring to? As far as response to our request to have specifically called out what the waivers are they're being asked for, because that's two, I believe it's just two, but the decision points of
I
the
guess there
commission.
were 4 waivers.
Four, but
Yeah,
That's
so this
very helpful.
was, I believe this is the one. So some of this is copied from the previous waiver request.
April 16th.
And then we go into waiver request number 1. A lot of information, and then the outlined in red,
Okay, yeah,
and then 2,
Yeah, that's the document right there.
okay,
3,
yeah, I know.
and 4.
I'm sure I got it, I just remember seeing that particular, because I'm pulling out the red, okay.
Yeah.
But April 16th was the date at the top of it, correct?
Was it the 17th or the 16th?
It's
Let's see.
dated April 16th.
Yeah.
The batch that it was in was in the 17th.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
if you go to the page that has all of the old documents,
Right,
it's under 4/17/26.
for something.
And it's
Right.
the NOI Blackstone Street waiver memorandum, 26 April 16th.
Okay. So any commission members who haven't had a chance to review the 4 waiver. Explicit 4 waivers explicitly called out, should definitely do that prior to the next meeting, because
Mhm.
that is, as I said, sort of the crux of decision-making points that we still have, to do, and for sure, plus anything else that either Beals or Thomas or anybody else, have we?
So
That
I actually
list-
did hear back from Beals and Thomas, so between when I sent it to them on Friday after I received it, and then earlier today, they got back to me and said, we currently have about 2,300 left in our budget to complete the 3rd supplemental review. With the new updated information submitted, we estimate it would be about 3,000, so a little bit more, but most of it covered.
Okay. And when would they have that done by, did they say?
And they were asking when we would need to have it done, and I said, if we could get it, if we could get
Yeah.
that done by the 29th. That would give like a week and a half for review
Okay.
before the next meeting on the 10th.
And we haven't heard whether they can do it by then, but that's what you told. Okay.
They said that they would likely be able to do that,
So when is your next meeting?
the 10th,
June 10th?
June 10th.
Oh, you're not having another meeting?
We have town meeting.
Town meeting.
Oh, for God's sakes.
It's been at the top of all the agendas. I've
That's
been
right,
putting
we
up.
voted on it.
I have.
Had to vote on it in town meeting.
At least they give us everything time, you know, obviously, if you can get it, if there's any substantive comments that we would like to be able to bring to the meeting on the 10th
Sure.
to address, that
Yeah.
would be helpful to.
Same with commission members, if they see
Right.
something that's in the report that reveals the Thomas that we can
Right,
explain.
so,
Yeah, you should be, it should be shared with you on that thing too.
because we, you know, as I said,
Yes, so James actually brought that up, so I can delete it. When you click on that meeting, it shows our cancellation notice.
so,
So it is on there. I mean, I could just take it off, but then if I take it off, nobody will know. People will be like, oh, well, it's on the date list.
You're in
Aren't we having
charge. You're in charge. You're in
So-
charge.
Yeah. but-
Can't win.
The question is,
Can't win.
They see it
Building's
on-
probably gonna be locked, right? Nobody's gonna be here.
Yeah.
So they'll figure it out the
So-
second they try to open the
No,
door.
that's okay. I just didn't realize.
So I am emailing with most of these people pretty regularly, so.
I'm in a way, I'm kind of glad, 'cause I told the engineers to have our stuff done by May 22nd, which would have been a week before that meeting, so. We'll get the information to you. And if there's any other items that come up, if Beals and Thomas can get it, done. I mean, they're gonna if they see something in a document, like the first one that they read, and they see something that stands out to them, they should probably send something to you, I guess. Rather than get one report all at once.
I think they'll just put it in the report, because that's usually how it works. We don't really do the back and forth with them. It's usually
Anyways,
just one
I'll just
report.
take what's the file, just
Yeah.
Okay. Additional questions, any other points that you didn't get a chance to make? I think you covered everything.
Yeah, it was very
Covered all the issues, I think.
Pam, anything come to mind that you want to ask at this point before the next meeting?
Yeah, maybe I missed this from the last meeting. Is that the stormwater basin that ended up in the 25-foot? Can I be reminded how that ended up moving there?
The, was on this, lot 2, which had already been permitted. And it was encroaching to the, encroaching within the septic design, or close to the previous approved septic that was on lot 2.
But this is just a design. This isn't something that exists yet.
No.
No,
Hmm. I don't know if I feel that that's a very good reason to be moving that in the 25-foot.
Well, that's one of the reasons that he's asking for a waiver, so you definitely want to review that memo response back on the
Yes.
16th and other commission members too, and see what you think, because that's, again, decision points that waiver requests are still outstanding that we need to be ready to move on.
Mhm.
It's asked to answer.
yeah, there's an outfall from that decision, correct? Well, stating it. Conceptually, I agree with Pam, but to hold that line has some layered secondary and third level effects. What were they? You explained it in the last meeting. Well, you mean in terms of the, where the basin is now? Yeah, where it was, where the complications with. Oh, well, I think, Hannah had done a nice job overlaying but basically this is lot 2 right here. And as you may recall, we have a house, an order of conditions with a septic system that's in this general area of the lot. Very close to the stone wall. So when you move that basin over, unfortunately, we have 2 different engineers that were working on this project. One was doing the road work, and we had Rob Truax was doing the design for the septic systems on those notice of intent. So when I had told the Allen Engineering about this, we had to move it. It's just plain and simple. This is a compromise of the construction of this lot, and maybe would have done other things necessary to build on that lot, so.
Well, just creating your own hardship by something that somebody else can decide or determine whether, but
Well,
that question was raised too, I think, at one point in time by somebody.
well, the other thing, as part of this intrusion, we are doing some additional mitigation for the town as, we're taking stormwater that, quite honestly, if this basin isn't there, we don't get that, the town's gonna have to come out here and do something with that drainage, where, it's not a free ride. We're doing it, and, as an accommodation, we're happy to do it, but there's things that are in the mix that we think are that justify a waiver in this particular case.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, this was, I just wanted to show Pam, this was the overlay that I had done when I was looking at it, just to see, this was the previous design basin, and then this is the current basin.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that was about it, but if we, I mean, it kind of sounds like things are kind of wrapping up discussion wise, so I just want to clarify if we're good to move forward with peer review, because I think that was the one kind of takeaway I needed from this meeting.
When you got the list Friday, did you share it with us? There's list of, I didn't see that.
I didn't put that in.
If you can, I think it'd be helpful, just so we know what BL Thompson is looking at as part of their scope. Not that we shouldn't give, if the commission is so inclined tonight, because we want to keep things moving along, everybody does. To decide whether you want to approve.
It's essentially just everything that's been submitted between the last one and this one.
Well, there's small financial.
With ones taken out that the list Lou provided, so there's been like 2 iterations of the amphibian tunnel.
Right.
So he didn't include the first iteration of the amphibian tunnel.
Right.
And the proposed mitigation plan, he didn't include the first version of the proposed.
Taking out things that were no longer applicable, I saw that.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, my question is the financial portion, as the applicant's responsibility to pay for, agree to pay for. Do we know definitively, is it $3,000 instead of $2,500?
She'll write up a scope, but if it is 3, which she said that's their anticipated number, because they didn't write it and present it to me. Because
Yeah,
they didn't want to do that in case you guys were like, no, we don't even need more peer review. But yes, so if we're good with 3, I'll let them know we're good with 3.
I think we should be moving forwards with the peer review.
Anybody on the commission disagree with that?
No.
Okay, so the question to the applicant is, are you willing to pay if necessary another $500?
Oh, sure, we're not.
Okay, just, what do you think?
Well, I'm happy to say some of the first one.
23.
Oh, okay, sorry, it's another 700, I've been corrected. It was 2,300 before that was left in the bank, so to speak, and if it goes up to 7,000, obviously 700 more, but okay, so we have the applicant's approval to, if necessary, if it goes up that high, and $3,000, and we have,
And this proposal's been all thrown in the portal for the weekend.
So we don't have a scope yet. I
No, no, I
essentially,
mean, for the previous ones.
the previous scopes,
Yeah, all the proposals have been.
they
I
should.
remember seeing in the past.
I just want to look at it.
May have been a ways back. I don't think they're like current portal, current meetings portal.
I'll make sure that they are
Meetings
in,
in the portal.
I have a lot of different, there's a lot of different,
I just want to see who's doing what and what they're charging.
yeah, I can do that.
All right, so if there's no other questions for this point in time, we have a humongously long.
I'll entertain a motion to continue this to the meeting of June 10th.
Second.
Motion second, any other questions, comments? Not hearing anything on Pam.
Actually, quick procedure question. I've missed 2 of these. Can I vote on continuing, or am I not voting at all?
You've missed 2 of these?
Yes, Pam's missed 2, so now we're actually, as far as
Second.
quorum, yeah, actually, that's a good point, Pam. I was gonna say this at the top of the hearing and then I completely spaced it, so that's my fault. James can't vote because of our audio recording issues on the 22nd. Pam can't vote because she's now missed 2 meetings, so she can't do Mullins. Nicole can't vote because she wasn't here for the original, so we've got 4. So we do have a quorum, so I wasn't worried about not having a quorum for it, but we only have you 4.
4 voting members.
Yes.
Why don't we just, since we have a lot of time between now and June 10th, why don't we just re-advertise and they all can vote?
You'd have to provide, we would have to be very clear on this because we don't waste anybody's time and effort to do this. You may have to re-advertise that, maybe the least of it. It may be that you have to know exactly what you're,
I think it's a re-notified butters.
Well, I've just done this in 2 other towns, so I mean.
right, you have to provide an encapsulated summary, so to speak, at a public meeting for the commission members, especially those of them. So.
Not that I want to disagree with that, I just did it in Hopkinton, they checked with town council, it just required re-advertising and re-noticing the butters.
That's, I'm not disputing that those two parts, but I was told that in order for the commission members to be able to vote, they had to hear a summary of the event. That's what when we had to do with the Mullen Rule in the past, but that's all I know. So I was said, we should have checked with town council someday to be sure.
Check, but I think they might be.
If all we have to do is we have to, have it, sure.
Yeah, I think we should do that, just so everybody can participate and vote, and then, if somebody.
Well, I
decides-
appreciate it, given the amount of time and effort our commission members have been putting in, that's fine. I'm hoping that we don't have to have a re-summary, because then we'd have to be, as soon as we could do that would be the 10th, unless we schedule a special meeting just for
I
that,
mean, I
which,
think it would just be a quick summary before we vote on the 10th.
if it's required, yes. If it's not required and the commission members don't want to have a summary,
I
that's
mean, I
fine too.
feel
But
like you should
it's,
still do it anyway.
Yeah.
I'll check and then I'll clarify with you guys via email. I'll let you know.
Perfect.
okay.
Yeah, that'd be great if, so then we wouldn't have to be worried about the precious quorum.
Yeah,
Well, not only that, but just
it's the best
to
way to
be,
do it.
you know,
Yeah.
give the voting members, everybody a chance to vote, because again, everybody's invested a lot of time in this. Okay, so we will now, taking a reduced vote on the, reduced numbers, on the continuation for the notice of which Arian made, who.
You have to read
Steve-
it.
I'll second.
Yeah, well, I guess it was null and void because James.
I'll make another motion to
Thank you.
continue this meeting to the evening of June 10th.
Second.
Steve, thank you. All right, Don,
I,
Mike, aye, Ariane,
Aye.
Steve. Aye. Okay, so we have 4 voting members say aye, so the meeting will be continued to the 10th legally. And we know.
And then
gather
you'll
information.
follow up just to make it as
Yep.
simple and
Crystal clear.
straightforward as you
Yeah,
can.
'cause we have time to advertise it.
Yeah,
It
there's
requires
plenty of
5
time.
days in advance, and,
I mean, there's slightly different. We have to request it from them within a certain amount of time. It's a whole thing with the newspaper to get it posted.
oh, yeah, well.
Yeah, that's a whole thing, but we got enough time for that.
I
So.
have a special account.
Whoa,
Thank
all
you.
right, thank you.
See ya.
Thank you.
Enjoy your town meeting. I hear it's gonna be a doozy.
Oh,
You've been probably, well.
Might be entertaining.
I did watch it.
They don't have enough of those.
Yeah, I know.
It's, I don't know if it's required, but it's from. It's good to be.
Maybe Sally, they might have to go in supplemental room, they still have it.
Yeah, most. Yeah, actually.
They do like these things.
I'll follow up. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You can stay far away from the law.
Thank you. All right, moving along, we have an informational enforcement order. For 96-100-104 Lake Street, and if anybody's here for that, yes, there we see gentlemen back there, I thought we could recognize them. This is for alteration buffer zone to BBW. Mike Rivers, Todd and Devin Howden, and our 2 of the applicants and Vincent Forte.
I don't know if, Hannah, did this get?
This is what, you sent it. One and then a second one before you left for vacation. So that's what I have posted.
Okay,
It's
so that's
both-
one has the 15 gallon.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So is option 1 or option 2 the one that? There's a planting option 1 and planting option 2.
Yes. So he sent planting option 1 had smaller plantings. Planting option 2 has the 15 gallons.
Okay, so that, all right.
He originally had 3 gallons and I
Yep, yep.
recommended he put an option where there were larger plantings. So there were 15 gallons.
And so which one of those, what, are we going to like look at both options and have a discussion, or is there a preferred option?
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you guys. So at the last meeting, there was kind of some discussion with Nicole giving some suggestions, and I think there was some confusion between what a more easily transplantable plant type was. So I think Nicole was kind of referring to those like 1-inch caliper trees are like a good transplant size. And the 3 gallons were just a lot smaller than that. So he upped the size to the 15 gallons.
The only problem with the larger sizes, digging in the site, there are a lot of roots on that.
Yes, so that's why he wanted to
And that's,
present both options.
and the other problem is safety. You gotta get those things down that slope. Into each hole. You have to start at the bottom, work your way all the way up. But you gotta dig all the holes, and I think we should probably do both, and if something goes wrong, we don't want to stop the plan, we want to plant it. So if we go with the smaller ones, there were a few more, I think the number was a little bit higher, let's say 4 to 5. On one species, of 7 on one species, and then if you go to the larger ones, it's back to the original number.
Why is there only 3 gallon and 15 gallon size options? Is there not something in between? It seems
The
like
5, 7s were not available. I don't think there's a 10. The 5 and 7 were not available. I even went to other nurseries, they don't even have this kind of species. They got shrubbery, they got fruit trees, they don't have native
Yeah,
species.
Bigelow's is like the big native
Yeah, yeah.
nursery around here.
I've used them for years. They're just usually great at everything, you know. Their
They grow all
transplants
around
are
stuff.
really, really good. They always take. I never had a problem unless the landscape is a real hacker, so. That's usually, I'll make sure that that doesn't happen, because
That's the root of all your problems if you have back a contract in there. Okay, thoughts, questions? You got 2 options here to look at and be an expert on site, a couple experts. What do you wanna?
I mean, the biggest difference I see, and again, I'm soil scientist, not a tree person, but there's more variety in species
We
with
can
the
work together.
smaller. So when I think of things, I like to think of having a more diverse plant, especially because that's all on one, like all 104. If you go with the
Yeah.
15-gallon plan, it's only eastern white pine, but if you go to the smaller alternatives, there's oaks thrown in there as well.
I did meet with the gentleman at 104, and I think he had met with Hannah, but he had said he has like 13, I think, white pines in an area right near the house. And he says, they were just, I said, that's fine, I'll have the planners move them over. Originally, it was very hard on that site to determine what the variety was, but I used kind of the same ratio when I did the 96 100. I made 104 have in the smaller varieties, because they do have, in the larger, they don't have much. That's going to be difficult. I may even have to up on some of the white oak and the red oak to a 25 gallon, which
Has
is,
the discussion happened with, is the gentleman at 104, the one that was?
yeah,
not
I
at
looped
last
them in, I think the day or 2 before I left. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Friday or
What
Saturday.
was his reaction? Because he wasn't at the last meeting and I didn't want to have him.
No, I told him that, he would be part of this order, and he said, yeah, and I think he said he spoke to Hannah.
He spoke to me a long time ago.
Long
We
time.
haven't touched base recently,
Okay,
but
okay.
when you spoke to him, he was like, yep, that's fine.
Yeah.
Taking some of the plants from his existing outside of the 100-foot, taking
Right,
some
yeah.
existing plantings, putting them in, supplementing with like a couple.
And they're,
ones, and that
they're
was the-
larger than the 15 gallon, they're about 6 foot, 7 foot, so.
So that seemed like that was a pretty good solution.
It's
for
a
now.
missing piece of information in there. Anybody else have questions?
I have a
Steve?
question for Nicole
Yeah.
or anyone. Obviously, 15 is larger than 3.
Mhm.
The success rate, which one has a greater chance to succeed?
So on a slope, on normal flat conditions, planting the smaller trees, the smaller the better because they transplant easier and they get used to the area easier. Everything's just easier. It's an easier transition. But on a slope, I'm kind of hesitant because I feel like they'll settle better if they're a little bigger into the slope and have less of a chance of like sliding down. You'll also like with the larger ones on this list, like, yeah, there might be like fewer of certain types, but you'll get to your restoration value quicker. Like the restoration value of like what was cut down and like slope
Yeah.
stabilization will come quicker.
Could a 15 gallon list by its own weight? on
So a
slope?
3 gallon's this big. A 15 gallon's about this big. It's not like a massive thing. It's really not even that much bigger. Like a ball and burlap is anything above a 15 gallon. So that would be like this,
Yeah.
like minimum. So like a 15 gallons roughly like
So
this.
that dimension you're giving is not the trunk size. That's
No,
the
no,
tree
that's
size.
the size of the root ball.
Right.
So yeah, so like a 15 like gallon, I mean, depends on the tree species, but it's probably like 4 or 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
Depending on the tree species, obviously like pines grow a little quicker than oaks because they're a softwood versus a hardwood.
And the 3 gallons are,
The 3 gallons are like a perennial, like when you go to Home Depot and buy
It's
perennial, they're tiny.
Yeah.
The 1 gallons are like this big, 2 gallons are like this big, 3 gallons are like this, 15 gallons like this.
So for a 15 gallon, it would probably even be like 1.5 inch diameter, right? Or like a pantry.
Not quite,
No,
but
be
getting
1
there.
inch.
Yeah, like a 1/2 inch to 1 inch max. Usually. Like my professional opinion, and again, like, you know, he might have a different opinion or whatever, is that the 15 gallon would be the way to go. But that's just my opinion.
Are we including a condition on survivability?
yes, so, the typical, so in the enforcement order, the, so I have two separate ones for 100 and 104, and then one for 96, because 96 is, and yeah, 100 is taking care of 104. So
Correct.
I have two separate orders for, or two separate enforcement orders. And then for the, yeah, so as far as the order goes, commission has to approve a final restoration plan prior to restoration activity beginning on site. Thick mulch from the mulching of removed trees can be allowed to remain on site as a form of erosion control, but a professional should evaluate the mulch to determine where removal may be necessary to ensure that there's no negative impacts when they're planting. Demarcating where deforestation occurred, which we already have. Plantings installed by a certain date. Right now I have 4/12/27 because we weren't sure if we were gonna even get it this season. So, I mean, we can change the date of having the plantings go in. I'm not sure. Really, are you thinking it would go in this season?
I don't know. It's actually, while it was going, I heard it was pretty dry.
Yeah,
The next 3 days or 2 days, we're getting rain.
Yeah.
It's substantial. Tomorrow's a 1 inch day and it's Friday could be a 1/2 inch. That's a lot of rain. But I don't know if our county is not in a drought. It's actually normal, they're saying. So if you look at the map, we're all green. You look at the other ones, they're yellow and orange. North of Boston is orange. The Cape's probably yellow. So they're at a deficit from 1 to 4 inch deficit.
but
We
yeah,
are
so,
supposedly at
so
normal.
it might work to give a little bit more
It might
lead
work, but I
time, just
could
in
do it
case, but if they can do
before
it
June.
this season, that would be ideal. So I don't know if we want to keep the 4/12/27 on there, if that sounds
Rather
good to
give the
people.
flexibility if we're unsure how the
How it
conditions
would
are gonna be.
Okay, yeah, that was my thought. And then,
Have we
Planting
made a
shield.
decision on the planting options yet?
no, this is just, he asked about the monitoring, so I was just going through the other requests in that order. So then we get to the monitoring, so shall be monitored by a qualified professional, report generated once a year during the growing season. Shall include corrective actions necessary to ensure 75% survivorship. And then
For a 3-year period.
any invasive species removal necessary.
75%
And
for 3 years,
that's the,
75% survival for 3 years.
Um,
Usually we give a time period, and I think I heard that.
you're right. So 3 years. Good
Or
note.
forever.
Good note, Mike.
Okay. All right, so, and that's gonna be consistent with the other site too, the other enforcement, okay.
Yep.
So that answers James' question, I believe. Steve, you had,
No, I just wanted to offer a couple of comments. Picking up on what James said, option one would be my preference. Given that the slope hasn't shown any erosion,
Not that,
and there's a concern about getting into it because of the existing root base, which is probably why there hasn't been any erosion.
correct. It's pretty substantial. I tried digging.
Option one has the diversity in 104 that James mentioned, and the total tree count goes up
It goes up
5 or 6 or something like that. It's
5 to
not
7,
really,
I think, on 96 and 100.
and I think my gut instinct would be a smaller tree with a higher quantity and some greater diversity would probably be a better end product with a higher chance of survivability.
That's my thoughts. Marianne? Any thoughts?
And I'm more inclined to agree with Nicole's decision, Nicole's opinion is.
Which
I
is
mean, like,
option two.
15 gallons seems like a lot, but then when you think about the diameter, it's pretty small.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Granted, I think we could easily separate out 104 too. And say, take
I mean,
this
I'm-
piece of 104 and push it to the
So,
other option.
I've planted many 15-gallon trees and I can do it by hand. It's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're in favor of option two for 96 and 100 and option one on 104.
Yes.
So that's where I'm at, actually,
I can-
because I agree with exactly
So
what you were
our
saying.
pick is,
Wait,
when I,
wait,
our
can
pick
we-
is a hybrid of the two.
Yeah, can you clarify which is which?
Option three,
Yeah.
So,
We always make things.
so the,
two and one.
for 96 and 100,
96.
right? It would be
The option two plan.
the option two. For, yep.
With the bigger tree is 15 gallon.
For 104. It would be the other option.
Option one.
But I wanted to add a comment to that for diversity reasons. I look at, there's one white oak and one red oak. With a survivability, who knows, I know 15 inches.
The
I
15-gallon
mean,
ones are probably
50
gonna survive better than the
I
small.
didn't know if that should be increased in number
Yes.
2 each. But
I'm imagining the smaller ones, just like a single maple leaf sticking out of a pot.
Yeah.
yeah, a little
So-
spray.
But also if there are invasive species too, like the larger ones would be better off than the smaller
Up by
ones.
the mark.
Yeah, because bittersweet would strangle one of those tiny plants in like a
Yeah.
season before you could even get to
I
it.
hate these.
The question I have for the survivor, so you said we're issuing 2 enforcement orders, one including 104 and 100.
Hmm.
Is that 75% between the 2 properties?
I think it should be each property.
You're gonna have to now because you have
Yeah,
option
it'll be,
one.
well, because it'll be each.
Option two is
So
now.
I can have that split off between 100 and 104.
Also, lot
75%.
104,
Well,
you
plus-
can do the smaller plants because it looks like the plants on this plan are not gonna be like on a crazy slope, like the topography of where the plants are. is pretty
104 is
flat.
pretty flat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where the other two properties, there's more of a slope gradient there, so I'm comfortable with the trees on 104 being the smaller ones. Well,
Yeah.
professional opinion. No, I don't speak for other people. Unless you're
But
my student.
I've planted, if not many dozens, if not hundreds of red and white oak and pine. Not a plant specialist, but
I just went up a couple
I've
notches
seen-
in my book, Don.
yeah, my friend Danny's planted thousands.
Yeah, no.
But anyway,
Did you do that because you cut the other ones down?
no, it's just something we've done since we were kids. Danny used to, I don't even want to go into it, but thousands.
Nerd.
I'm doing
Yes,
their TVs.
Especially the white pines, but anyway, I probably got, I don't know, half a dozen at least red and white oak already in buckets in my yard,
Hmm.
because I give them to friends. So, usually, the little 3 gallons, if I plant 5 or 6 of them, then I'll probably end up with 4,
Mm.
and that's why I was a little paranoid.
Inter-specific competition.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I'm good with either. I just like to see a little bit more of the red and the white, but I don't know, I'm hung up on it.
All right, so looks like we're gonna be having 3 enforcement orders, not 2. Just to make sure they're separable, correct?
Is there a reason why there's like
I can just put 2 separate,
Okay,
uh.
so
Do we
requirements in
really
that
want to
order.
issue 1 enforcement order on 2 separate properties?
I'll split it off.
That just.
split them all
Sounds
up?
like
Be
easier.
easier.
Sounds like a nightmare to me doing that.
I feel like we'd regret it down the line.
well, when we started talking about the length of time, and you said you were overlapping, you said 104 and 100 or something like that, and as if they were joined together, but it's 196 that were on the option 2 for planting, so that you are talking about the same survival rate, 75% for 3 years
For
for all.
For each
Okay, okay.
separate property.
Fine, okay.
Yep.
Which
Which
total.
will be
75%.
Yeah. Yes.
I didn't want 100 and 104 because if all of 104 died, I think that's less than the
That's a good-
75%. And
That's a
then
good note.
at 100, all good, but 104 is barren.
Is there a reason why on 100 there's like a very large quantity of pine versus other species? Like there's just like a big grouping of them?
You mean on version 2?
Yeah, I'm looking at the latest,
Yeah, that was because I didn't know it was earlier, but he had spoke to Hannah and that he says, I got these right here. He says.
Well,
"Why
those
you-"
ones he wants to move.
That's like 41
So it's moving a bunch of trees
pine.
that are how big roughly?
I think there's very few 4 or 5, they're 5 to 6 feet. So they're good size, I mean.
Well, I'm just wondering how many will survive. That's,
I guess we'll see with 70, I mean, but they're free, so 75% survivorship.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good.
I
good
mean, I
shot
can make
there.
a change obviously after the first year, the
It's
minutes,
just moving them.
I don't think it's going, you know.
Are you saying on the actual
from
plan?
another part of the property?
So
That like throws a whole wrench into everything.
we're moving.
Well, all right, so
It's
now,
not in the buffer zone or anything.
no, but now I have like a
Couple
million
lines.
other questions
They're
about
taking
that.
Outside of the area that's affected.
Is that-
Do that versus going.
Well, it comes down to where are they being moved from? What are the specifications of the movement? Like, are they like, how much, like, are they digging like, like it's recommended 1 inch diameter, it's, you dig 12 inches out from, so if you have 1 inch tree, you do a 12 inch root ball. If you have a 2 inch tree you're digging out, it's a 24 inch root ball. Like things like, I have a lot of like questions like that.
Is
None of them
that-
went 12, 2 inch, I think.
I didn't know that was happening.
Tall
Is
ones
that
are
something
probably
that they
1
could
inch.
kind of follow
maybe
up,
a
like
tad
have a
higher.
condition in their order that's,
Yeah.
there's more follow-up or?
I mean, it doesn't
The
really
ones
sound
that
like
are taken
restoration,
out?
if you just take it.
Well,
back.
first off,
They're not from the buffer zone, so it's outside the buffer zone.
So we can't have a say whether you agree with that or not.
I wanna make sure the trees survive, is
Right.
basically what I'm getting at, like, so
May not be able to.
where are these trees coming from on the property?
The front of the yard, there's a house here, there's a fence. It looked like there was a garden there at one point, but the stuff that was there, that was
Okay.
garden, never got done, and trees just grew up, all white pine.
How big are they?
Probably 5 to 6 foot
How many inches?
diameter, thumb at least,
Okay, and who's gonna be moving them?
the landscape of that. I gotta make sure you can do it, that's the other thing, if you can't do it, then
Yeah.
Mike's buying trees.
Like as long as you're there supervising them, digging those trees out and making sure they're getting and I really, really adhere to the 12 inches per inch diameter of root ball. That's how we learned at the Arnold Arboretum, and they're very, very adamant about how they move their trees. And that they're being moved properly, like they're being balled and they're being burlapped and drum laced and stuff, and then moved. Like protection of the root ball is extremely important. And, like from a nursery, it's in a container, it's already, the professionals are digging it out and stuff, just making sure that contractor is going to really take care of
Not to
those.
shake it
Yeah,
off the ground.
Right,
yeah.
I mean.
I'm not undermining you, I just
Right.
have seen some horror stories of like, oh yeah, let's grab all these trees and
Right.
just because they're pine trees, they're
If
not.
he does that, then we're not using.
Like I trust you, I trust that you do the right thing. But that's just something I definitely want to add in somewhere,
That's fine.
Have on-site supervision
Yeah.
while it's being taken
Yeah.
out and while it's being transported.
Yeah, I wanna make sure those trees will survive.
Right.
That's all.
Well, you have the authority to stop them. I mean, you're not all bark and no bite.
Well,
Okay.
I've watched people do things before, it's part of my jobs.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so
Would you want to vote on issuing the enforcement orders that are drafted and approving the restoration plans? Is that,
with any additional follow-up being done by the combination of the agent and any other commission members, something like that gives you the latitude to follow up with some additional stuff. I'm okay with that. If the commission is so enticed and then like to do this,
I'll entertain a motion to issue the enforcement orders for 3 individual lots as discussed during the plan or during the meeting, and approve the restoration plan as option 2 on lots 96 and 100 and option 1 on lot 104.
Ariane, you're entertaining the motion or you're making the motion?
Making it, whatever.
Okay, then I'll
It
second.
wasn't entertaining enough for you, she'll dance while she does it. But she still needs to have the, and also to,
Close them.
well, no, to work with the applicant's representative and the agent slash commission members to finalize any details.
It's representatives to work with the agent slash commission members to finalize any details.
For the plantings, yeah. Good.
I will second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All right, Nicole,
Aye.
Don,
I,
Marianne,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
James, Pam,
Question.
Aye.
James, question?
This is one that also had audio issues?
Hmm?
Was this also a hearing that had audio issues?
Yes, but it's not a hearing, so it's fine.
That was just informational last time?
Yeah, these are both just been
Yeah,
information.
this is just information.
This is official vote.
Well, it was for an
But I
enforcement
think
order.
yeah, it's for an enforcement order, so I think it's okay.
I learned today.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
So,
I get
thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Would like to-
Too late.
Thank you.
Okay. And I guess we're done. Okay, that's review tonight.
This is like few more pages.
This is actually a little ridiculous.
We got this.
Little? Yeah.
I'll do it all one breath. Do it, that's, yeah.
I'm just glad, Brian, you decided to come in person for this mess instead of hiding behind the screen.
Kept flickering. His image kept flickering and freezing. It's like, was he really here? Was a flat version of him, a photo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. No, I think we've done more than, there's a group of them, they're gonna pass them, and I thought to do. Which group are we passing?
So, they are opening the amendment request. We're
Right.
passing through 8 through 67,
Whoa.
and then there's new ones for 83 through 87.
Thanks. So
Okay.
the new one's the one that's small.
Yeah, I gotta read that as well. All right, so I guess the proper order to read this will be the order of conditions request for the first one, the lot 13, not 31. And then
No,
include all the others.
We're opening 7, all the other ones got to be.
what was that?
Isn't the first one, the Mechanic Street and Mill Street continuation in order of conditions, isn't that a different one?
Yes, yep, and that one they did not request a continuation.
So we should skip over that one, because it's the same applicant, read the ones that you're requesting continuation for, get those out of the way, and then open that one, right?
And then go back to the new hearings after.
No, this one.
Oh, I know that, but then go to the other page of new hearings after you've done the path over.
Or if we do it in order, we just
No,
do this
this
one and
could
then
be-
continue.
Yeah,
on.
we could do that too.
Yeah.
How long is this first one gonna be?
1 minute.
Very quick.
1 minute, okay, well, let's just gonna do it in order then, I'm just, if it's all short, let's just do it that way. Okay, we are going to continue the hearing for, order of conditions of amendment request, Mechanic Street and Mill Street, map 31, lot 13-1, Red Mill and Charles. Amendment request for adjustments to roadways, stormwater management, infrastructure and site grading, Toll Northeast V Corporation is the applicant, and Brian Mann, LEC Consultants is the representative. Go.
Thank you very much. Brian Madden from LEC.
Liz Clark from Ty and Bonds.
Jeff Heidelberg from Toll Brothers. And so we've been waiting on the peer review. We did receive that. It's been reviewed. There's a meeting scheduled tomorrow with the peer reviewer and town staff. From there, we're going to be revising materials and getting that to the commission for substantive discussion on June 10th. I don't know if you wanted to relay anything at this point, but
Who's the peer reviewer?
Fields.
Oh, it will be Fields. I didn't assume that.
And that one should be in the portal as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we received the peer review on May 1st, so almost 2 weeks ago at this point, we've compiled our responses. Like Brian said, we'll be meeting with the new town planner, Hannah, as well as Fields and Thomas tomorrow, just to go through our responses. I think the letter really didn't have anything that substantially changed the design, more of a refinement, I would say. So there has been some adjustments to pipe cover. We're shifting a spillway at an abutter request. And really kind of going through and clarifying some of the history of the project, just because they're new to it. We gave them a lot to digest. So hoping that tomorrow's a productive meeting, and then we'll be submitting revised documents. So I guess you have the letter. If there's any questions you wanted to go through, I'm happy to respond, but want to be within that minute we promised.
All right. Questions about that? Anybody?
I've only one, it's probably not on here. Any movement on the ownership of this retaining wall?
We are working on revised information on that. That will be submitted cumulatively
When?
in advance of the June 10th meeting. So ample time in advance.
I ask because I don't want it just continuing forever.
Yes. It's duly noted. We have a running checklist of every comment that has been received and the materials we need to address. So, additional information on the walls and maintenance. And expanding upon that discussion.
We look forward to that with great anticipation, right, Steve?
Well,
At least some anticipation. Okay, any additional questions on this? All right, I guess we'll be accepting a motion to close and continue this.
Not
No,
close.
not close. Continue this. Excuse me, thank you. Continue this order of conditions amendment request to the evening of June 10th.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, any other discussion? Pam,
Aye.
Nicole,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Ariane,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
James.
Aye.
Now, yeah, thank you. That takes care of that. Now we're done. No. Okay, now. We're going to cover the continued hearing continuation requested ones, which are at Red Mill. I'm just gonna read the lot numbers after I read the initial one. So we have a continued hearing for notice of intent for the following properties, all of which are construction of a single family home within the 100-foot buffer zone to BBW. The applicant is Toll Northeast B Corporation. The applicant's representative is Brian Mann from LAC Consultants. Those properties are inclusively being requested to be continued to the evening of June 10th, and they are as follows: Lot 8 of Red Mill and Charles, Lot 9, Lot 10, Lot 11, Lot 12, Lot 13, Lot 14, second, Lot 15, Lot 16, Lot 17, Lot 18, Lot 19, Lot 20, Lot 21, and Lot 67. Is that correct? All right, so we have a request by the applicant to continue those properties, the continued hearings for the notice of intent for those properties to the evening of June 10th. I will
So moved.
Second.
accept a motion in a second, but I heard them so fast I can't even tell you who said it.
Aye.
That's okay.
Yeah, Ariane and I sound pretty similar.
Yeah, you're both so soft-spoken. All right, Pam,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Ariane,
Aye.
Steve, James.
Aye.
Okay, so those will all be continued to evening June 10th. Now, new hearings for notice of intent for the following lots at Red Mill on the Charles and Camp Street and Mill Street. All for construction of single family homes within the 100-foot buffer zone to BBW. Again, applicant is Toll Northeast B Corporation, and the applicant's representative is Brian Mann from LAC. The following properties are included in this new hearing: Lot 83, Lot 84, Lot 85, Lot 86, Lot 87, Lot 88.
And Lot 89.
And Lot 89, thank you. I had too many pieces of paper in my hand. Thank you. There's a lot there.
I was like, oh, people didn't like the staples, but now I think I should staple.
No, no,
That's
no.
always second guessing yourself over here.
Okay, so we have all those now open for presentation by the applicant and their representative.
Also, just a quick point of comment for Hannah. Would you make these like gray next time and like shade the table like gray so it continue?
Just getting picky over here.
What?
It would be like easier.
Color in the grid.
Yeah.
And easier now.
Nothing else to do, right?
Yeah,
Or you can just give her a pencil and let her do it. when
literally
she's
color in things.
We'll give you some colored pencils.
Sure, if I know when I put the agenda out, yes.
Do we
Sometimes
have-
I don't know.
Do we have to have a copy of the same one that goes out to the public? Yeah. And then hopefully.
Colorized version that we get later.
Let's give her some colored pencils.
Do that, do that.
If there's time.
If the town budget allows for coloring in the printer.
Well, it'll be gray, so it's still black and white. No color.
Grayscale, okay.
No color.
Okay, we'll let the applicant's representative go right ahead, Brian.
Thank you. Okay to share my screen. Huh?
Yeah.
That I'm wrong. Don't mind.
For the record, Brian Madden from LEC Environmental Consultants with Liz Clark and Jeff Heidelberg. So this batch of 7 notices of intent are with an easterly portion of this residential subdivision, starting at the northerly edge and then kind of wrapping around clockwise around to the east. The first lot has buffer zone to BVW to associated with the perennial stream that runs through the central portion of the stream. The remaining lots are all BVW buffer zone work to the intermittent stream located to the east that runs north-south through the property and partially off-site. So starting at lot 83, we've, again, similar design. This one's a little bit unique because the pump station associated, or one of the pump stations associated with the development, is located on the lot itself. And while that pump station is part of the larger amendment request, we did include the details herein specific to this lot because it is located on the lot, defined by that red line boundary. So the pump station will be fenced in, it will be paved footprint. So we've taken that in consideration for the total impervious on site. If you remember, this was the lot with some regrading off lot up slope to the north that we're going to propose to revegetate more naturally with a diverse species mix. And there's a swale that runs along the back portion of this lot, discharging towards the drainage basin to the west. But only a very small portion of the outdoor living area within the outer 100-foot buffer zone here. Majority of it is just regrading and or the areas that are on the pump station. So relatively straightforward on this lot. I'll just stop and ask if there's any questions or you all have anything to add.
Can I just clarify? So the pump station, disturbance from the physical pump station is going to be covered or is covered under the NOI or the NOI and the order of conditions for the whole project, not the house NOI.
Well, because it is on the lot itself, we're counting it twice, basically.
Okay. I'm just trying to think of like in the future, if there's some sort of violation on either of the order, who are we going after?
Yeah.
Is it both?
You'd have.
You have the right to do it, yeah, you have the right to go after it.
Okay. And then other question about the pump station, the impervious area. What is the reason for the odd shape in the back that kind of juts into the buffer zone? I'm thinking maybe there's enough room to not go into the buffer zone, but
Yeah,
maybe
so-
there's a reason.
This is based on an approved and peer-reviewed layout that was done prior to Toll getting involved under the previous application. So through the DPW Kleinfelder, the well-renowned civil engineering firm was hired to peer review the design. So it's due to equipment requirements, I guess, without having everything shown here. So you have your physical pump station. You have a valve chamber next to it. And these are fairly large pieces of equipment. Then you have an emergency generator that so has to be in there. You do want to be able to bring a truck in between this equipment to access it. And then we have a yard hydrant so that you can hose off and or maintain. So yeah, it is a bit of an odd layout, but it is just kind of a function of access and equipment needs as well. Yep.
In the direction of surface water flow, whatever it means,
Or when you're washing
to
off
that
things.
impervious. It's gonna move in, I'm just trying to figure out which direction it's gonna move in.
Like
So-
into the
The
detention
swale towards the back. Is the way that the pad is. Well, there's the swale to the back and then there's also the. The basin to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a site layout with the equipment?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, right here. It doesn't have labels, but you can see some of the boxes, circles.
Not putting it in one of those cute big houses.
No.
What sheet is that, Brian?
It's part of the subdivision plan set. This is sheet. I don't know if you have it.
21
It's
out of
27. Yeah.
And the fence goes much further. What is the proposed surface? It's
Oh,
not-
that's to enable snow storage.
Okay.
So we can plow out that access area.
But
with the pumps.
is it all gonna be grass back there,
Yeah,
maintained, or is it gonna be left to naturalize?
I think it'll be left to naturalize, just given that the town will be responsible for this and I don't
It'll be
foresee them
left to
bringing a
naturalize.
mower out. Yeah.
It's a real response.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
You mentioned there was a yard pump. Or yard
Hydrant.
hydrant to wash things off. You talking about vehicles?
No, no, so, well, I guess I shouldn't say to wash things off, so. It'll be used initially to fill the pump station, so we can test the floats, so it's a source of water. It'll also be used in the event that the pumps keep pumping and they don't shut off, and they have to get out there and make sure they don't, get themselves dry, so. It was a provision requested by the DPW.
I was just really washing things off inside the manhole,
Yeah.
not washing off like.
Well, that's
Things
what I
that
was
are
thinking,
outside,
if you're
yeah.
washing off stuff, then. we
Right.
Are sensitive to not having stuff flow off the
Sure.
plates, oils or whatever. Okay, great, thank you.
You can see on this plan, we're just outside the riverfront area with this lot.
Hope the equipment's not too noisy. House is 83 is not gonna be a great place to live.
It's sub.
They get a discount, I'm sure. Yeah. Okay, additional questions on this one? No? All right, all right, on.
Right, we go along, to the east. The 100-foot buffer zone, minimally extends into the northeasterly corner of the outdoor living area. And a minimal amount of work between, the 25 to 50, probably just up to the 40-foot buffer zone or so. Again, the limits of work are matching the approved subdivision, so no changes therein here. But a small amount of potential impervious surface within the extreme outer 100-foot buffer zone, but otherwise just regrading and lawn areas on this lot.
Hmm.
All right.
Questions, observations? Observations?
Hearing none.
Hearing none, moving right along.
All right. So again, clockwise, portions of the 50-foot buffer zone do extend into a minimal corner of the house footprint and a little slightly more than half of the outdoor living area. You can see the limit of work does extend off the lot line here. It is an interior to respect the 25-foot no touch. So a smaller backyard area. You can see the regrading proposed with limited lawn surrounding And the square footage is included herein. Keep it brief, if there's any questions.
What are the original elevations on this lot?
Yeah, let me see if I can key out, and let me know if you.
I beat you to it.
Just do the condition sheet. I see a 220 back here. Well, that's, and then 230.
So the grades being lowered?
Yes. Yeah, you can see, so 230 is this contour. And these are 2-foot contours. So this little point is a high point. So everything's being regraded down and you have a little back slope to the, this is off lot. So that's part of the amendment request, going on the lot. I was looking at 85 and 80. Yeah, so 220 back here. And yeah, not a ton of regrading actually on this lot. It's coming down slope and on this particular lot, and then it bleeds into the adjoining lot, which we can get into. I think that's another high point over there. There's a little bit of dip here.
Brian, the footing drain at elevation 212. Is that just dumping or is that,
Yeah, it's hitting a low point.
but it's not going into a pipe network? It's just spilling out in the ground.
Yeah, and again, that's just a backup for any standing water that accumulates against the foundation. It's not connected to roof runoff or gutters or anything like that.
Or so it's not a sump pump or anything.
No.
It's just a ground swell.
Yep.
Redirected.
Still on a different lot. Similar question, who's gonna be responsible for that?
That should maintain a line, where?
So it does go over to next one. So
I've seen that become a dispute in the past, so.
So we are working through a series of easement exhibits and agreements to support the, because in some cases we do have shared foundation drains because you are limited on where you can pop these out for drainage. So that will be included in that, as well as Brian mentioned, we are working through the walls and any kind of general drainage conveyance through the lots as well. Making sure your neighbor doesn't fill in their swale, so you're, got a pond instead of a swale.
We have a lot of instances of that, even interior to the site, not necessarily against the wetlands, where we're creating easements between all the property owners because of exactly the drainage concerns that you just brought up.
Yeah.
Brian, the FEMA flood zone now,
Mhm.
what's the elevation there?
Good question. No, I have it in the amendment request. 208? Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right, Don. Here's 208. Let me take a quick look. There was one.
Where are you getting that?
this is like.
Yeah, it's 209. You can see it over here in this corner. So here we are over here. It's 208.9 to be exact. So none of these lots do extend into the flood zone. That's all outside.
And what's the height again of that retaining wall in the back of the property?
There's no retaining wall on this lot. Only one of the lots in this batch has a retaining wall.
Okay, so that's not.
That's just the hay bale limit of work,
Yes, okay.
silt fence line, erosion control barriers.
And how will that homeowner know where their property line ends?
So on an ensuing revised plan set, we will show the locations for the open space signage.
Okay.
Here, because the limit of work is a little bit more interior, we could add additional signage to memorialize that versus just the open space. Which would be coincident with the back of the lot.
Yeah, I could easily see somebody continuing to clear behind that.
Yeah. Clearly, you could. Any other questions about that?
In the wall height here,
No walls on this particular lot, only lot 88 has a
okay,
retaining wall.
that's the
It's erosion.
erosion control, sorry.
Yeah.
Dan, you have any questions? Just checking in.
No, sorry,
Okay.
energy
Sure.
flagging, but we're still following along.
No problem. Just checking.
Are there gonna be like plantings in that yellow zone at all, or anything to kind of stabilize that?
This is everything shown within the limit of work will be lawn landscaping.
And would we want to consider maybe putting some vegetation there or something to stabilize it, just because it is within the 25 to 50, or?
And it's on a hillside without a retaining wall.
Yeah, it's on a hill without a retaining wall.
Good point.
I mean, this is like the only one I've seen so far that I'm like,
What do you think? 10 feet from front to back. It's-
So I'll say normally we'll seed anything 3-1 or less steep than that. So 3-1, 4-1, 5-1. It looks like we've got 5-ish to 1, but it's checking now. So they would, homeowners like to have lawn. We put plantings in there. I could see them taking it out and putting in lawn later.
Yeah.
unless you put in a condition, right, that they can't.
Tricky part about putting condition like that is who's gonna enforce it down the road. I
Where
mean,
are our friends at 96 104 Lake Street?
Shit, it's like a replanting. A busy spring. No, that's just my thoughts.
How many square feet is that area that we're talking about, the hillside there that's on that property?
Talking the yellow?
Yeah,
Cumulatively, and again, that does run through portion of the outdoor living area is 1936.
I mean, there's a lot of like structure in that zone, you know what I mean? It's a little concerning to me.
well, it's 2,000 square feet of area, 25.
Well, there's more to come, Nicole.
Yeah. So, I mean. Up to the commission, you wanna,
My
Yeah.
bigger concern is that they'll end up, because it's relatively flat, relatively speaking, right? Is that they'll just try to continue to expand their backyard afterward. I'm thinking about what the owner would do afterwards. And they'll
Is
probably.
that red line the lot area?
Correct.
Yeah,
and that's the, not a retaining wall, a stone.
So why is that colored?
It's erosion control
Oh,
barrier.
that's erosion control. Okay, so, yeah, once erosion control is out and you're still on property, you're right, I mean, they could continue to try to expand. That would not be grassed in all the way up there.
No, so that we would have those bounds that we were talking about indicating that this is the start of the open space.
So if this is still the lot line here, how come this isn't shaded yellow?
Because the disturbance ends at the
there's
erosion
a
control
little plan
barrier.
Oh,
put
okay.
anything in there. That's why I was concerned about having.
I mean, can we
some
put some like
deep-
plantings over here, or it's just something? I don't know, it's just a little concerning.
My concern with the corner of the house being so close to the undisturbed area too is eventually like trees are gonna start getting tall and then they're gonna be like, this tree's gonna fall on my house, and I need to cut down. And then.
I mean, that like wattle or whatever, is that gonna stay there forever? Like, yeah, so.
No, in addition to the open space signage, it may make sense to have a second layer of signage to delineate the limit of work, the no touch encroachment zone, separate from the larger open space. But, so that outdoor living area is within the 25 to 50 is 214 square feet. Again, that's a max potential build out scenario. It may not be that to that size.
If you're looking for plantings, like what types of plantings, because we could put plantings in, I'm just thinking longer term.
No, they don't have to be full-size trees, they could be.
No, it's shrubs.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a
Just
valid
like
concern, but think about
stabilization.
if you own this property, right? And you're living here, you're gonna end up in this area. So whatever we,
Yeah,
just walking around the house.
Well, I'm not saying like, board
no,
up
I know,
that
I know.
with shrubs,
Just-
but like maybe we could add some like, I know that's the limited disturbance, but this is also their property line as well. And that goes in
Anything that
closer.
prevents them from going into that, further into the buffer zone.
Like even just like a little planting here, that's just kind of like a clear, like,
Oh, well, that's where this bounds would have to be located too, right?
So the bounds
That is a
definitely be at the
property,
property
so-
line.
Well,
But
it's
to
a
your,
property line,
and
but
that's not permanent, so it's like,
we don't want them in the yellow area as much as possible too, because
Yeah.
that's the, 25 foot.
no, I think as a homeowner, I'd prefer plantings to additional layer of signs, but I've got a couple of such
Right.
lines in my
Wait,
backyard.
ready to go with
It's
flip rail
cute,
fence
it's nice
too,
there.
Yeah.
that's a nice place to put the signs on it and.
it's like,
I mean,
some
something that you
flowers,
guys
something pretty
do
that
often
smells
do
nice.
is have the split rail fence at the.
Yeah.
Allowed.
But I'm thinking like the
disturbance.
plantings would kind of mitigate the slope area, like, any water that would be running off or anything, because it's just so close, they would be mitigated by those shrubs, like.
Sure, I think we'll come back with something. What we're doing is, Brian's tracking all the comments that we're receiving,
Yeah.
and we'll respond to each one individually on
Are you
each
recording
individual
us,
lot.
Brian? See if any of that's-
Well, this is
In
just like
addition to
the only one that's like really glaring.
Yeah, so far, this has
So
been
far,
the one that.
We have more.
There's-
So-
all
Okay.
All right, no more.
Prime now.
Duly noted, I think we're gonna see.
88 gets.
All right, if we've made our points here for them to come back, I think we've got some chance to hear some more feedback on this one.
Split
Just
rail's
move
also an
along.
option, so just throwing it out there.
Or more.
I think it will provide more of a.
All right, any other questions about this that are
Look
not
how
on
pretty that-
bounds or fences or, I think we have that covered, no? Okay.
Yeah, and to the comments received, like, everything bleeds onto the adjacent lot, so we'll look at it cumulatively and what makes the most sense to address. And, deter future encroachment, because no one wants to deal with that.
They're so close. What one neighbor does, they all will do.
We see that.
I did it because they did it.
Education, with any transfer is gonna be significant here, considering.
Good thing you signed on for that.
But, so, to that point, we're kind of bleeding into the next lot. Somewhat similar situation where there is a little bit of a corner and change in direction for the limit of work. You can see here, the limit of work does minimally deviate off the lot, but for the most part runs along parallel to it. So I think the signage would work well here, overlapping. But maybe some plantings up in this northerly corner may be appropriate as that kind of connects into the adjacent property. Here, no structural impervious surfaces within the 25 to 50. The green areas within the 100-foot. That total impervious is about 1,500 square feet max potential. That does include the rectangular box for the outdoor living area, and then majority of the house as well.
Brian, pause for a minute. I want to ask the commission, these people that live there, if they're not creating any permanent vegetation disturbance, can they enter past into the 25 and put up like a single pole and birdhouse to give nature a chance to move in and can they do that kind of thing?
No, without submitting an RDA and having us determine that it's, doesn't alter the resource area.
But will they?
Well, like what
Yeah,
I'm
some-
getting at is that if we kind of preemptively add vegetation like into these areas that are within the 25 to 50, people that are moving in here aren't gonna be like, I wanted to, have all the neighborhood kids over for a baseball game. Like these are like very small lots. People that are moving in here are probably like older, their kids are moved out, like they're not like expecting to have like a ton of lawn, a ton of space. Like if we just kind of preemptively put in some like plantings or something, they move in there, they see that, they're like, all right, cool. You know
So
what I
when
mean?
you say plantings, to just mark a boundary or prevent
Erosion.
tight enough you can't physically get through them?
No, just like kind of like something to mitigate a little bit of the water, mitigate like some ecosystem services. Like nothing like impenetrable, but just something to kind of protect.
No, I like impenetrable.
Yeah, okay. I hope with some quince in there, some thorns. But I don't know. I'm just thinking like protect it like in a natural way rather than just signs. I don't
Like
know.
that rolled barbed wire?
Yeah, just put a ton of barbed wire in.
Poison ivy everywhere.
Yeah.
That is, that's a native, right?
Never get the Roundup out.
I'm just thinking a little bit of protection, nothing crazy, but just like to me, like the yellow's kind of glaring and it's so close and.
Would you
Yeah.
mind providing a couple of suggestions on plantings, just so we have some direction?
Yeah, I mean, like what I'm thinking, like in my head that keeps popping up is like clethra. Like clethra is like really good because it's a root colonizing plant, so it like pops up and like kind of colonizes over time. Myrica pennsylvanica, which is the northern bayberry, also does the same thing.
Okay.
A plethora of clethora.
Colonized.
Clethra, CLETHRA. It's also called like sweet pepper bush.
Yeah.
Right.
Really good.
Yeah. He loves it, right?
I
know,
like,
like the-
I like Arrowwood too, I think.
Yeah, Arrowwood viburnum, like all these are kind of like they like a little bit of wet feet. They're very tolerant. They're native. They're tolerant of like the cold, the sun, full sun, part shade. They're tolerant of a lot of different situations.
They're pretty.
And they're pretty. They have flowers and I mean Sambucus canadensis, the elderberry is another nice one. And they're not gonna get like wild, but they do colonize and kind of like protect that slope and mitigate water and they're pleasant to look at,
Butterflies.
Yeah.
I don't delineate the edge of their lawn. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like I said, when they move in there, they're like, oh, cool. Like they're not gonna be like, well, I wanted to have like
Call that out, yeah.
kids and have all the baseball kids over and I don't know. It's like I don't think the people that are moving in here want like a huge property anyways. They're probably trying to downsize.
We're more of a street hockey town anyway.
Yeah. I can do that out front.
Okay, anything else?
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm opinionated.
No.
All right, moving right on to 87.
Yep, moving down to the south.
Yeah.
So yeah, the limit of work is running parallel to that red line easterly property boundary and then deviating a little bit off to adhere to the 25-foot buffer zone that bleeds on to lot 88. There's not much lawn area in the back behind the outdoor living area. Once you get to that back area, it's relatively flat, except for that southerly area that bleeds into the adjacent lot.
But yeah, that whole back feed, like to your point.
Same thing.
Yep.
And I'm not saying it has to like encroach on their patio or whatever, but just kind of like a clear,
No, when you have like a row.
Yeah.
It kind of just imprints.
yeah, and it's nice to look at instead of a bunch of signs.
Was the flood zone determined by
You have signs that say don't
elevation?
go over there, they gotta go over there, you know?
Because it looks like there's a
Then
198
you can
outside.
follow
of the
up.
flood
So if
zone.
I go out and I see a row of trees,
200.
I'll
Most of those
just
are
just take it out because they're like,
Where are you looking right now?
the spot grades, or I think they're spot grades.
No, I think those are wetland flags.
they're supposed to be like trees.
So 199, 200, 201.
Yeah.
But it's just.
Which I
the
think,
practical.
You were keying out these numbers?
Yes.
Yeah, I think those are flag numbers, the 2008.
All right, let's move on to the fun one.
Yes. So you can see the grades starting to bleed into the adjacent lot. I'll zoom in here for a lot.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
So-
that's probably.
I would
So to be
want-
clear on that one, we actually,
It's gotta jump in first.
yeah, we actually don't have a house in our portfolio that fits this lot. So we're trying to understand from.
Turn
a
into a
mission-
community garden.
Oh, that's a
So-
great idea, Nicole.
Right, just like a little like pollinator area. And I
Beautiful.
can educate the residents on what else is in their backyard.
Lovely.
It's steep.
It's an incredibly tight site. Again, I'm sure Brian would get into this. It was included in the subdivision plan and in the original order as a lot, a buildable lot. We're working through trying to.
What the heck they were thinking, or
Trying to,
smoking at the time.
we're trying to.
Well,
figure
no,
out-
that's,
Put a
your
house on it.
standard house size doesn't fit it, so
Yeah,
that's.
don't put a house on it.
Correct. So what we're
Yeah.
trying to do is understand what we can fit, and get approved what we can build to. And then we'll be able to design the home, basically a custom home for this.
So you don't wanna do a shared shed for both properties on each side?
Like
Small enough.
playground.
I was gonna say, I feel like all these communities have like a gazebo or something.
Yeah, gazebo.
Be a perfect gazebo.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a little nook where they can kind of hang out.
Right, good luck.
They gonna be allowed to have barbecues?
At their homes?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then,
Are you thinking about?
Barbecue police coming in.
The multi-housing,
NECC?
yeah, you driving around, there's not a single grill.
Oh, Curtis Apartments.
Curtis,
Oh,
not a single grill in it.
I mean,
Kind of hard to balance them on the railings. on
these are all single family lots.
Yeah.
So the idea with that outdoor living is so that they would have space to have.
I was gonna say, make it a grill.
Stay without melting their vinyl body.
Well, there you go.
Little slide, maybe some swings.
Okay, moving right along.
So you'll note on this one, there is no outdoor living use area defined.
No, it's
Um,
all up.
you know, the
I wouldn't put a house.
the house is scrunched right against the setbacks for front yard and side yard setbacks.
Those mini houses that are.
The retaining wall, this is the one lot that does have a retaining wall here in this solid black boundary. The original plans, get to it, had a longer wall, being shown. I'll just show you that for reference.
Is this the one with like a 9 or 10 foot drop?
No, this wall is only about 1 to 5 feet tall.
We were able to reduce the impacts slightly on this. when
Put
we
a
were-
diving board right into the tunnels.
Your house. All right down.
They're gonna, yeah.
So you can see the retaining wall start on 87, coming around, wrapping around, and then terminating right at that corner. But so Liz was able to shorten it up. But this is like also on the lot that we have this back leg over here that's matching the original limit of work that was approved, but maybe that's nearer. We could add some plantings in that corner. The infill.
Yeah, but until you can figure out what you can build there. It's kind of hard for us to.
Well, if this is the footprint that that we're seeking for approval, it would be similar to the other homes where this would be the maximum size that we would build to.
It's not enough space for a couple to get away from each other, you know?
Yeah, I'd be a little concerned about. the
Well, that's a lot.
Not an engineer, but. Next.
Ended on a easy. Easier. So just a small portion, within the outer 25 to 50 foot for regrading. Again, this is that back corner adjacent to that lot 88. And then, portions of the house and outdoor living area within the 100-foot buffer. But the limit of work matches that property line, the easterly property line, coincident with the open space.
So how will like an owner know, let's say, you got a house on 89, how will an owner know that if they want to put plantings, they want to put a bush or something in the green, they have to come and get a permit?
They don't have to get a permit for that.
No, to within the 100, right?
They can plant trees and stuff.
If they're like natives.
Okay.
But even that corner, if they.
Yeah.
The yellow area, they have to do something about.
Yeah, within the 50 foot.
Yeah,
Right.
in the 50
Yep.
foot. Yeah.
If it's preemptively
Yeah.
put plantings in, then they don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I was thinking one side.
While we're already going through this.
There are disclosures, the order of conditions would run with the land. There's gonna be, I'm assuming, ongoing conditions that they need to adhere to. And those are transferred to the owner and there's disclosures we need to give to them at the point of sale.
That's helpful.
It looks like, Brian, on this one, that at the top of the lot, it says 25 noticed or wetland buffer, but I believe that's the 50.
Green is where they'll park the boat during the
yeah,
winter.
Yeah, narrow
The
trout,
motorhome.
yeah, bass ship, bass boat.
That's where I'm gonna store all my cars, that I'm gonna fix later.
Okay. Any other questions about 89?
I don't think so. That's 89.
That's
I
one
think
thing.
we're,
That's 89.
common denominator is a planting program of some sort all the way through there.
Yeah, and again, I think looking at that cumulatively as one connects to the adjacent lot, we'll put our heads together and submit some revised materials on that front.
Yeah, that complete document is good. Thank you for adding that.
Okay.
I like the idea of the separate signing for the no disturb zone and then the open space. Because it seems like for some of the lots, the no disturb zone is on their lot, so they wouldn't necessarily see the open space sign first. So I guess I'd want both.
And if I could make a note in relation to that, this is just something that when I'm out, like following up on stuff, especially with some of the newer developments, they have those open space buffer markers and they see that as, oh, I can clear up to that point, like this is my property, I don't know why they didn't clear this portion, so they just go ahead and start removing stuff or dumping stuff, or because it's like, oh, that's the open space, I don't have to worry about mine, so there's a lot of disconnect there that I've seen. And then we eat up a lot of time just trying to like communicate with them that that's not in fact, that there's open space and then there are wetland buffers. So there's a lot of disconnect there.
Lasers. On each
Get
side.
later, yeah.
Go beyond that. Okay. All right, so we have heard all the new hearings lots. And we are ready to take the motion if no one has any additional questions. To continue these to the 10th, yes? Brian?
Yes, please.
Okay. To continue these lots to the 10th, I will accept a motion for that if someone wants to make it. Or we can just sit here all night.
So moved.
Oh, Pam, okay, we'll let you come online for that one, and Ariane was right after you, so we'll do about that count in a second, thank you. Any other discussion? All right, hearing and seeing Nicole,
Aye.
Pam,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Ariane, James, Steve, Mike, aye, okay, unanimous. Thank you all for your time.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll have a lot of materials for you for the next meeting and I'll start knocking some of these out.
You're so funny, a lot of it.
Reducing that agenda.
You know, there's no boundaries when it comes to a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you. Have a
Nice.
nice rest of your evening.
Enjoy the rain tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's the season, Jeff.
Thanks. All right. Moving right to the end, this is not for 55, if you know carefully under other business, this is for 45 for the potential enforcement order action. enforcement action.
Oh, scoops.
Yeah,
Oh,
scoops.
boy.
Just so we're not thinking, oh, wait, we have, just leave. Okay, so is everyone aware what happened?
No, what happened?
Okay, so I'll let Hannah summarize. Have the joy of going out there, and I've heard it a couple times from different sources.
Yeah, so,
Back in the day.
back in the day, I got called out to the site by the Board of Health agent who was conducting a routine inspection of the, the restaurant. And he called me out because there was some discoloration on the rocks.
Didn't we literally require him to put the oil and concrete pad?
Yes, and he
I
does
remember
have,
that.
he actually does have a new system that it's like I did this was something I touched base with Mike on. And I did confirm with the Board of Health agent that they now have a system where the oil is separated and just sent straight to a different tank, and it's on the side of the building rather than in the back where it was and just having like a concrete pad below it. This is like a much better closed
Like
system.
inside, they put the oil in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't have to
You don't
carry
have
oil
to
outside the
take
building, they
anything.
just dump it
Yeah,
into
it
a.
just goes there and then it gets taken out by waste removal.
Isn't this exactly what we said
What happened?
was gonna happen?
So I let him know that we would follow up, that they can't be dumping anything other than water back there. He told me that it was from rinsing out these bus tubs that they have that have onion rings
And flour,
and
no oil.
flour in them. So yes, I suggested that if that was what caused it, to not do that anymore.
I tell you, kind of run a kitchen?
Yeah, so I did request that he attend the meeting, and sent him the agenda.
That was this meeting, but they weren't.
He followed up with me today, this afternoon, saying that he wanted to let us know that the environmental person they've been in communication with has not been able to come and do a site visit yet and not available for the meeting tonight. Neither of us who run the restaurant can come tonight either. Let me know when the next scheduled meeting will be and hopefully we'll have everything completed by then. So I put a draft enforcement order in there for you guys to review that essentially says you need to hire someone to present us with a plan to clear this up. And once approved, that would happen by a certain date.
I mean,
So,
ideally, it would just call like an SCP report spills hotline.
so I did actually reach out to DEP when this happened. I reached out to the Hazardous Waste Division. It's not a reportable, they don't have enough information to prove it as a reportable amount in a certain period of time, but they did recommend that, I listed the resources and I reached out to the wetland circuit rider from DEP about it. So the Hazardous Waste Division recommended reaching out to one of the environmental cleanup groups that they have listed on their page. And the wetlands DEP circuit rider recommended reaching out to that or a wetlands professional who could coordinate that work. And essentially said, I was concerned because I was like, I'm not entirely sure exactly how you would go about cleaning something like that up. So-
It's been sitting too long to use anything absorbent, they're gonna just remove the material.
That makes sense. But so instead of like writing exactly out how to do that, say you need to contact a professional, the professional needs to conduct a site inspection. A licensed site professional, conduct the site inspection and provide a restoration plan for that. So that was essentially what I put in the enforcement order. So I think,
This was all in their like trap rock area behind.
Yeah.
yeah, did you see the photos?
It's a pretty clear picture of it, yeah.
Is it the EO attachment?
We're not watching out by any means.
Yep, it's in the EO attachment. We kind of go from the,
You can see the bus bins right there.
yes, exact, and the sprayer. Or said bus
That's
bins.
plume right
So, Goes like that, and then there's this slightly dark area, which mostly seemed like water, it didn't really smell as much, and then some of the oily sheen in the wetland. The dark discolored area, we were lifting up the stones, it goes pretty far down, and the board of touching stuff, smelling stuff, it just seems like
When
waste.
they got the new tank, they went like to the old tank.
Yeah.
Don't they, aren't there companies
I'm-
that come and clean grease traps and things like that? Like, could they implement like a grease trap or
They
something
do,
like that?
they do have that system now, so that's why it's confusing why this happened.
Yeah,
Because they do
because-
have a, like, basically a closed system
Seems
for
like they
that.
just need to stop.
It seems like
Dumping
they
their
need
tough
to, like,
stuff, like-
clean their stuff like a normal, like 2026 person, instead of like taking it
Like
out
our
to like
laundry.
the yard, yeah, like putting it in the street.
Well, they're gonna be having to deal with it and get it cleaned up properly. I think that's.
Hey, man.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the things written in the
sound like
enforcement
you
order
do
make
that.
sense.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, how did this come to our attention?
The
Or
Board of
who
Health
found it?
agent.
Board of Health agent.
The Board of Health agent was conducting a like,
Random check?
routine inspection
Okay.
of the restaurant before they're opening for the season. Or at least right at the start of the season.
So that was a few weeks ago.
Yep.
Don't ask me on it.
but the photos are self-evident. It's gonna be addressed.
And I mean, when you're out, like, you can just smell it too. It smells greasy. So, I guess the only thing,
Did you bring a sample of the smell in for us?
I did not, unfortunately.
So is there-
I didn't baggy it up and.
Is there
maybe I
enough,
should next
is there
time.
enough time for him to hire a professional by the 20th?
That's the thing. I was hopeful that there would be more progress between when I let him know that that was something they should look into and now. And he said in his email that they contract as a site professional. I don't know what that means or who they contracted. He didn't specify.
I
So
would say,
Saying that
Give more-
they need to provide, not that they should, but they must provide more information. Who you hired, when are they gonna come out and see it?
are
And
we
when are we
commenting
gonna
on
report?
this order, or did you already issue it?
no, I didn't issue it yet. This was something Mike and I talked, I was like, I don't know if this is something I should do right now. And we talked about it. It seems like a lot of the damage is kind of already done. So it wasn't as like, okay, you need to do this today. I wanted to get feedback from everybody before telling him he needed to hire a certain person and do something a certain way.
And it's also like
Especially
food
because it
waste
seems
too,
like
so
there's
it's
gonna be-
real work.
Yeah, which I did
Well,
did
yeah, but
contact like the
people are
fire
assuming
department.
that.
Oil is oil, it doesn't matter if it comes from food or from petroleum.
So I mean, a little bit different in terms of like
Less
safety
threatening,
stuff,
yeah.
in terms of safety stuff, because I reached out to the fire department and they were like,
Reaching out to the US Coast Guard.
It's not
no, I
petroleum.
didn't reach out to the Coast Guard.
So this is the same individual that sat here
And told us,
and claimed ignorance of boundary lines,
I mean, that's pretty.
despite the
ignorant
fact
thing to
that it was a second project, correct?
Yeah, this is kind of brazen.
I don't
Well,
remember.
so this
Was
was
this
the same
before me?
individual that I think we all, but I know I especially said, so we won't be revisiting these boundary lines again because you understand where they are.
Correct.
Correct.
It's on property, right? It's just like. Are you talking about the
Right when
wetland?
I said it.
The wetland boundary.
But like, that's.
I think we should give him a little more time, at least for the next meeting, like June 10th or something.
All right, we have a suggestion by Nicole that we give them for the next meeting to
Well, I have
respond.
some comments on the actual order itself.
Yeah.
So I think we need to spell out what a PWS is for him. And we would say a PWS and a licensed site professional.
I vote to have it cleaned up to whatever extent can be performed.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he's gonna do that now.
Yeah, the professional.
Yeah. So the first step is to get that professional to provide the recommended measures to do that. Cost is not our concern at this point in time because that's,
So it's still mobile in the wetland itself?
But that's the thing. It was quite hard to identify like how far it may have spread.
it's so thick down there.
Well,
Well,
not
here-
necessarily that. There's not much surface water, so it's like kind of little pockets.
Here's what's gonna
And then it's
happen
vegetation.
tomorrow and Friday, is
Yeah.
that is gonna go.
Yeah.
So that's like a.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like.
Substantial.
He's.
I don't know if
he's
it
not
would be
been
helpful
with us
to
for
have like
years,
a-
you know?
Like a absorbent sock or something down at the bottom,
Yes,
like.
They sell like boom socks
Yeah.
and it's a cent, or you can get a boom pad too, but the sock, if it's actual standing water that's
Yeah.
standing for a long time, the sock works better to contain.
Yeah,
But if you're just doing individual cleanup, then the absorbent pads, you can put in there and get it all and remove it.
At least something to contain it.
okay, so maybe have them install an absorbent
Well,
pad
I'd
at
say
the
just
base
get an LSP
immediately.
immediately, because the LSP should be managing that work, not us.
Well, here's the thing with the LSP. It's not MCP reportable, mass contingency plan, which is Bureau of Waste Site Cleanups implementing regs. This amount of oil, as they can tell for now. An LSP has no reason to move on this aggressively because
I think they do.
Well, if you can find somebody and get them out, they're good for the question.
but it's not proven to be a substantial release in general. So substantial of release not being, even if it migrates, they don't continue to add oil. It's not a substantial release. So I don't think the LSP
Well, it
has-
counts as substantial.
Waters.
Oil, it's 10 or 50 gallons, depending on
And it
the
was
oil.
50 gallons over a 24 or 48-hour period, was what she said.
Oh, wow.
It was a higher amount than I had anticipated.
Which-
Yeah, that's way
and-
bigger than I would have
It's been
expected.
dumping
for a
Oh, but that limit is for it to be.
There's
storable. So if
there's
you
no
certain
proof
amount
of what it is. Because
This
that's
is
the
not.
B, the owner has
been
not,
that amount of time.
anything
that
I've seen
the
written,
LSP
including that little memo from him or a note from him, which is
contained.
about how he's
There's not
been
like
picked
a-
on by the family.
Right, there's
But
not, you
anyway,
need to notify
that-
DEP.
that he
within
actually dumped
24 hours.
So he didn't admit,
Contained
oh,
it.
I've been dumping oil back there. He just said something about.
Anna, when
you know,
you say
been
she-
With
Yeah.
flour and onion rings, no oil. So
Well, one of the
without that, you don't have
members
proof
works
that's what it is.
for
Somebody could
the
scientifically test it
Division
and
of
prove it, but.
Hazardous
that hasn't
Waste
been-
at DEP.
Okay, so are you saying they release 50 gallons?
No,
Okay, that's
she said because I asked what like how we should proceed and if this was something they needed to know about, and she said it doesn't sound like it hits reportable thresholds. There's no proof that
Under
that's
under
happened.
that.
Understand.
Yep. Yeah. So I think the only thing that we're kind of at odds about is putting a pad down currently and timelines, because I've heard multiple different timelines.
I would just want them at the next hearing, at least.
Well, that's what I'm saying, give them to the June 10th, like, come
Okay,
in.
so because right now
First
I
talk.
have hiring the qualified professional
On May 20th,
May 20th
License.
and presenting a plan by the 27th.
which we don't want to do because
Which
we won't
I
be
mean, we
here.
don't have a meeting, but that's something that they could at least send to me.
I think.
Do you think they are realistically gonna get someone in 7 days?
If we get a
And then a
plan,
plan in another
that
7 days?
LSP says here is what's gonna clean it up, there's no reason we shouldn't authorize.
That was kind of, because I was like, we don't necessarily have that, like, that's why we're requesting them to put this plan together.
If they're saying excavating of 50 square feet is gonna clean it up, we give them that authorization to do it, because if we don't, it's gonna rain for the next few weeks and then it's gonna migrate.
Yeah.
Not a very smart thing to do.
So as far as timelines for stuff, like what are we thinking?
When did you first notify him?
We spoke on. I visited on the 5th. I got back to him on the 6th. So it's been
Okay.
about a week,
Yeah, so he's had a week.
yes. And
He's-
he said he has a site professional, but I
don't know what that
doubt that
is,
it's an
so-
LSP, to be quite frank. I mean, the person who did
It's gonna be.
it might be Bruce Wilson. He did his last plan, so
Weird,
that might be a
because
site
His
professional.
company is huge.
Yeah, I don't know. So that's that. So as far as order, what would you like me to change?
Licensed site professional.
Yes, so I
Yeah.
have spell out PWS and licensed site professional.
Okay, or wherever it says qualified professional, I would replace it with those.
Yes.
And what were the dates that you had said originally?
So we have qualified professional by May 20th and then presenting a plan by the 27th.
Sounds
Can we
great.
pause? Go ahead, Aaron.
I think that sounds great.
I think 20th, I'm on board with. 27th is only 1 week. expect them to say, I couldn't find anyone that would come out, look at it, write up a plan and submit it to me in 1 week.
Well, that's what I'm getting at too, is
And
like,
we're not here
are these people
They're
available?
presented to.
There are contractors that are one-stop shops for stuff like this. The biggest, like most well-known one is Clean Harbors. They're very expensive, but it's because they're a one-stop shop. I'm sure they could do that in that amount of time, but if he's trying to just find an LSP that is maybe local or something like that, it will take some time.
Which I
Do you feel
assume
like-
will be the option that they will go to, because they, in previous, in part of the documented emails to me, he was very concerned about the amount he had already spent on the stone.
Yeah. Or the hillside that he cleared out and,
Yes.
but he
So-
hasn't seen any rats since the stones were put in.
Yes, so that's, I anticipate that that's what would happen.
I guess the way I feel in this situation is so often, someone has cut down a tree and something and no further damage is being done. In this situation, it seems like the more we leave it, the more potential damage there could be. So I would be in favor of a shorter timeline just in case we can prevent that oil from spreading.
I agree.
Is it gonna waste our time if he comes back in like 7 days? It's like, I couldn't find anyone, you know?
That's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah.
I mean, he may do that in 2 or 3 weeks anyways, like, I guess we don't know.
Yeah, just keep looking, dude. But can we assign like a daily fine?
Or it's like unemployment where it's like, all right, give me 3 contractors you've called this week.
Not like the regulations, but it's.
I don't want to test that. Right now.
Our next meeting is the 27th.
No, that's
Tenth.
town meeting. Tenth.
So I put that in there just by week, and then
No,
he would be able
I-
to send that in to me.
Yeah, you can send it electronically, it doesn't have to be
Maybe-
presenting in person.
I would support that.
Are these all the grease trap
Support what,
covers?
Pam?
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Steve?
You're supporting. what is-
The short timeline. Even if he comes back and says, "Oh, I couldn't," I feel like having a sense of urgency to this one is what I would support.
I understand, I'm just not trying to create an out for them.
Mm.
I'll say, the types of contractors that deal with spill response are 24/7. So
I've never had to do it, so,
like you'll find somebody.
okay.
It's not hard, dude, if you're listening. They'll find someone.
Alright, no.
Are these the grease trap covers that are in that picture at the picnic table?
I'm not sure. They have, I don't think so, because the grease trap is in the back, so I think these are just random pieces of metal, and there's two.
What are the
Other
con-
basin
the
things in
concrete
the
things?
back.
Are those not the grease traps?
To be honest, I'm not sure. The Board of Health agent was looking in there and there was water and stuff, but he didn't have any concerns with that, so I don't know.
Looks
They're,
like it's doing some sort of.
they're tank covers.
That's what I figured, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't see any open I
Right,
don't.
if you look at the pads,
I think he either did or is planning to take the concrete covers out and put the black rims in with the precast cover on.
yeah,
Why doesn't he use stick to cooking?
that makes
What's
sense.
this like? Mishmash, like, doing things myself.
Hannah, what's in these tanks?
That, I don't know. I know the Board of Health was looking at it, but that wasn't something that I was looking at. They've been there for a long time, so
It's like
related to this one, I didn't,
maybe like
that's not
oil
something
water
that-
separator, maybe?
potentially,
That's huge.
potentially. Yeah,
These are structured access frames. Probably making it a bit more manageable than that concrete filling.
For whatever purpose, opening them up, pumping them out, whatever, down the road, but
Was there a?
I think for right now, we just wanna see what else. We got time periods that are good, the 20th and 27th.
He's got like construction material in the back. I didn't know if there was any other work on it.
I mean, it seems like there's always just stuff back there.
Rehab, yeah.
I'm on board with it based on the fact that you guys think those people are in fact available.
So the 20th for finding somebody, 27th for having that person provide a report. If they can't do that, then they need to respond to us and promptly and let us know in a timely manner.
Okay, let's take it to the next step. He submits a report on the 27th. He's gonna wait for us to approve it.
So that was something James just said, which if they have an LSP, we should go with what the LSP says.
Cause it's exempt from what it looks like. I think.
So the state has privatized site cleanup, so an LSP essentially takes the risk of their license by prescribing a solution to a cleanup. So if an LSP is riding on their license and they say, this is how we clean it up. I'm not one to disagree with it unless it's blatantly wrong. So if they give us a solution that says this will clean up the problem, I'd say, even if we don't meet, we need to give them authorization to do it.
So I give them authorization, give the company authorization, and when they say who's gonna pay for it,
We
and
could
the
do that.
applicant, the property owner hasn't agreed to it. We're talking about.
No, I'm saying
To retain.
give the applicant
That's what I want you
authorization.
to spell out. Okay,
Yeah.
I just want you to spell
We
it
can
out.
do that digitally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I can just include that in the enforcement order. I can say that instead of having the plan should be approved by the commissioner or agent, now that we've amended it to say the LSP, that the property owner will proceed with the approved plan by the LSP
After submitting,
to the conservation.
we don't need to approve it, but
Yes.
a copy of it.
Yeah. Exactly.
The only thing I wanna see is enough. Process detail. So that it doesn't leave a hole and it say, oh, you approved it. And
You mean like phasing of how they're gonna do it?
correct. Not only phasing, but some detail so it makes mechanical sense about the process.
So for something this small and innocuous, what I would expect them to propose would be something mostly just be excavation of the impacted area.
Right.
And they're gonna have someone out there with a PID sniffing for oil, or they'll go based off, visual sense, because something like this, you're gonna see it in the
Yeah,
soil.
you won't know the depth until you start.
They're gonna keep
removing
digging
material.
until they remove it all, and then they'll backfill. That's essentially the sense of it. They'll
And
throw it.
backfill it with what? The same?
Yeah,
Just clean?
yeah, that should probably be another condition is the,
Remediation, isn't it? So.
Is this something that when Hannah
Unless
receives
it's
this
a-
information, she can like approve as the agent, like this person is qualified to make this plan and you guys can go ahead with this?
That's, so Pam, I think they were saying if it's an LSP, then that means that they're qualified, essentially.
Right, this.
Well,
They're
so
LSP.
my one thought is he gonna attempt to submit a plan that's not by an LSP? And then say,
Yeah.
but you guys said I could go ahead and like try and get started on something.
no, they have a stamp, so we'd have to have a plan with a stamp on it. And then I guess if Hannah if we don't trust it, we can look up the stamp and the person.
Can you also specify that, this is a release to navigable waters and is exempt from the permits required under the Wetlands Protection Act?
I
The
don't think we should do anything
remediation
about
is exempt.
exemption.
Yeah, why is it exempt?
I just want to be clear, like, why we're approving it, because remediation is not exempt under the Wetlands Protection Act unless it's a certain type of release.
Well, but that's why they would be getting the enforcement orders to do the
But we would
restoration.
be telling them to do work that we're not permitting.
Well, the enforcement order is the permit. That's how we that's how we tell people to do the,
Rectify the.
yeah,
violation.
to rectify the violation. That's why sometimes we do, okay, an NOI if you're gonna approve work in the future, but if you're not gonna approve work, restore it, and this is giving you authorization to restore it with that enforcement order.
If we were allowing him to continue this, then we would have him file an NOI and us issue an order of conditions saying, yes, you can dump grease down here.
Tempting.
Yeah, right.
Okay, as long as.
Yeah, that's, as long as we order that to happen, then it's good, essentially. That gives the authorization. But so I also have any backfill will be green fill. And then
Yeah,
top with-
I think we just keep it as simple, like we would backfill what was excavated to keep
The minimum.
pre-existing conditions, like.
Okay, go back to
Backfill with-
pre-existing.
with the stump.
Yeah, we'd
I'm
want
saying-
we'd want it to look identical minus the stain. Yeah.
new stone,
New
not,
Don't wash the stone, don't rinse the stone and then put it back.
We'll bring a big stone washer.
The water's pumping out into the wetlands. as you-
Right, the one outside stone. Can Dawn go in wetlands?
You mean the
I cleaned up all the ducks and the
I was gonna
oil
say,
spilled it.
Baby duck commercials.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about yourself in third person.
Come on, we got the accent on. All right, anything else? Hannah's still writing visually, so I'll let her finish making sure she has everything she needs to.
Maybe obtain all other applicable permits, like if I need to, you know, there's oily water and we need to dewater it, we can put it back in the wetland.
Would that be included in the LSP?
Yeah, I mean, like, that would be something they have to provide,
Yeah,
but
but
our
they
order
did-
would be to obtain all other necessary permits.
If they hit oily water, they're probably just gonna put absorbent films in and suck all the oil up.
You know, if you feel fancy, you could do frac tank.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm hoping there's not that much in there that we need that.
Did you break the sheen up in the water?
That's the thing, it was very hard to see how far it went because it was such small chunks of surface water, so it would be like a little amount and then a bunch of vegetation, and then a little amount and a bunch of vegetation, and the sheen was only in like certain parts of it, like it wasn't like one big thing. So it made it difficult to tell. I don't know if you could kind of tell from the photos, but that's kind of what I was working with was.
Yes.
It's always easier to see on a cloudy day.
Yes, exactly. And it was so bright. So that made it a lot more, like I just would put myself over and have the shade do it and then
Yeah.
kind of look for the.
I'm definitely more inclined to believe this one picture is oil. But sometimes the iron bacteria sheen can. Or yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm an expert sheen identifier.
Yeah, basically.
Add that to your
don't
resume.
try to shine on it.
You be like that,
I know.
it's like that. If it's iron bacteria, it'll break up into like chunks, like they'll be angular. And if it's oil, it'll be round.
They'll be like bubbles.
Yeah.
Almost.
Good note.
And
Well,
how does-
hopefully something that I don't have to use too much in the
Well,
future.
and here's pro tip, don't ever touch it with your bare skin.
But if you taste it, the iron tastes more. And the oil tastes more like French fries. Okay, all right.
You
You
can't,
Okay.
you can lick it.
Anything else on this one? Anything else on this one?
Do you have questions, Hannah, before we move on from
I
it?
don't think so.
There's a lot of action items.
To clarify, I am just adjusting what we have so far to have spell out PWS and say licensed site professional. If there is anything that says qualified professional, replace that with PWS and licensed site professional.
You can say OSP.
Okay. And then when they submit the plan, send it to us electronically, and then they can proceed with the removal or proceed with the mitigation as laid out by the LSP, obtain all other necessary permits. Any necessary backfill should be clean backfill, go back to pre-existing conditions, slope, stone, etc. So I'll clean up the language a little bit, but those were all of the note changes.
Miss anything? Anybody got anything else that should be added? Okay, very good, very thorough, thank you. All right, so. I think we need to vote on that.
Yes, you need to vote to issue the enforcement.
Oh, yeah, but
I'll make a
Alright.
motion to issue the enforcement order for 445 Hart for that.
Second.
we have motion second from James. Any other discussion? Hearing none, seeing none. Pam,
Hi.
Don,
Hi.
Nicole,
Hi.
Ariane,
Aye.
Steve,
Hi.
James.
Aye.
And Mike, aye. All right, yes.
So there's been a couple things that we voted on that I haven't had signatures for, so I'll get those to you electronically as soon as I do that.
Okay, we'll watch for that. Thank you very much. All right, Walmart, another potential enforcement order.
Yes.
Jeez Louise.
Somebody drops
So
down.
this one, they like got right on it at least.
Who's that?
WS. So this is,
Walmart.
so this is kind of a unique situation because I've been trying to navigate the Walmart versus WS conglomeration. I guess Walmart kind of does most of their own stuff, even though they're in the plaza with the rest of the buildings over there that are managed by WS development. And the stormwater basins in there. I'll pull up this catch basin map because that's quite helpful.
So the violation itself was they were had paint and chemicals?
They're stripping the front of Walmart to repaint it, and
Yeah, so they
somebody
were,
noticed that they weren't doing any protection. They were just letting it run down the side of the building and across into the
Okay.
drain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so it's an interesting situation because the catch basins in the Walmart parking lot mostly go towards the other
Behind Market Basket
Stormwater.
building.
Basin. But yes, essentially they were using a couple different types of chemicals to do the stripping, and then they were hosing off. They were using what are they called? Power sprayer. Power washer. My brain's starting to implode. They were using a power washer to, get all the chips off. They were confronted by someone on, it was the holiday weekend, so there were a couple people that were complaining directly to Walmart. They implemented, and then there was runoff and stuff. They implemented some some measures to contain everything. So when I went out there, so it happened on the holiday weekend, and I did not get notified until Thursday. So people sent me one person sent me photos on Thursday, and then another weekend after that, another person sent in an anonymous call and was very frustrated about the situation. But so I didn't even hear about it until
Was it,
multiple.
was it done or was it a
So it was
continuing
still, it
activity?
was still ongoing. So once I did get the call, I went down there with the Board of Health agent and said, you need to stop doing this until you have proper containment out there. The only nexus for our involvement is the permit that they have for the development of the original structure, is that they have to maintain the stormwater basin, so you can't just be discharging stuff into your catch basins and into your stormwater management basin. So we said, okay, you need to contain this, you need to set up, and they had some in there, so they had like some wooden like 2x4 set up with plastic sheeting, and then some of those absorbent spill things around stuff, and then they did catch basin protection as well.
For what what are we?
It's just the water and the paint that's coming off. So it's,
All right, so they're using a power washer to blast the side of the building that.
Yeah.
Are they using chemicals? Like, are they using?
Yeah, strip base or something.
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, but it's a detergent as opposed. to-
No, I think somebody.
Oh, that's what I.
No,
yeah,
so
that's what I meant. Yeah.
I did put the product
Yeah.
SDS sheet in there because the Board of Health agent was
Yeah.
concerned,
I don't see it.
but
Yeah, where is that?
oh shoot.
Oh, I
Was
see.
that one?
Is it?
Okay,
In,
sorry.
in
I
the
didn't
person,
put that
I don't know
one
if she was
up, but I
accurate,
did.
but if in the person that forwarded it or put it in an email form to Anna who was frustrated, maybe that person came back later after seeing something, promised lots of pictures.
Andrew Kim,
No, so that's the W.
that's Stallbrook.
Yeah, so there was somebody who commented on two things that they were using.
That in there.
No, they were accurate.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, it was first. Was that in one of the ones that I was missing?
It was in the call transcript.
Oh, okay, yes, but they did give me the SDS. I should put this up there.
There's been the proprietary ingredients that I'm interested in. And so alcohol.
Like Hawkins.
I think they all have different ingredients for something. Proprietary 1, proprietary 2, proprietary 3, proprietary 4. Love that for you. This is so helpful.
Yes,
yes. Okay, so, you already pulled it up?
I just Googled the.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
but I just
Different
forwarded
things.
it to you via email, but,
Yes.
but yeah, so they, so we got them to stop and then put up inlet protection and making sure there was no more spillover from their containment areas going into the catch basin. And making sure that they cleaned up any of the like paint that was, any of the chips that were still in the parking lot. And then reached out to WS and said, okay, you need to get your stormwater management people out there to do an inspection and do any required maintenance. So they got somebody out there, and then I got I think there might have been a little bit of confusion about what was in the water because they were looking at some oily sheens on stuff. But they put in some booms, and then they were
I don't see a safety data sheet.
Hmm?
I don't see a safety data sheet in the attachment.
But it does say, quote, do not allow into any sewer on the ground or into any body of water.
Yeah, but they always say that.
For the
It's like a-
environmental precautions.
Yeah, and they tell you dispose of in accordance with all local, state, and federal practices. It's like a bunch of nothing, basically.
It's just a way to indemnify the manufacturer.
I saw one that was 100% tetrachloroethylene that said no products in this compound are known to cause cancer.
Hmm.
And I was like, interesting. That's one of them, 100%.
So what are next steps?
that was essentially what I was gonna ask you, because I reached out to, this is another one I reached out to the circuit rider at DEP about, and she essentially said, do what we did, and that's what I requested they do, and then they did it. So I don't know if there needs to be any more
They
follow-up.
rectified the violation immediately.
Yes, they went out there, got people out there, put spill absorbent booms and stuff in, and
Okay,
did
what does
any
that do?
required maintenance.
Was there oil?
That, I mean, they said they saw an oily sheen, so that's probably from something else, but. Or, yeah, so. That was, I didn't
Okay.
think there needed to be anything else done, and that was what DEP recommended, but, obviously
Yep.
needed to check in with you guys before.
They
saying
rectified
it
the
was done.
situation as far as you can tell right
There's
now.
not really an
Yeah.
alteration to resource areas.
Right,
otherwise-
it goes into the stormwater management base, so that's why I was like, the people that called that were concerned, I was like, the only nexus we really have is they have an ongoing condition in their permit to maintain the stormwater basin.
Being receptive.
Yep, they were very receptive.
Okay, thank
All
you for following up on that.
Yes, definitely.
Good on you.
The new and improved Walmart.
Well, not really even Walmart, it was WS. Walmart, I
Good on
couldn't
you,
figure out how
WS.
to figure out how to get a hold of any of their corporate people, so, I don't know.
So this is,
Okay, we have minutes. We have two sets of minutes that were in the portal, the 8th of April, and we also had the 22nd of April, I believe. On the 22nd one, I had a couple of tiny typos. I spotted, but if anybody has anything else.
you caught typos on the 22nd?
Well, for example, somebody was identifying trees, Mr. Petrosi, he identified all trees over 20-foot caliper. His way request, rather than a 10-foot caliper as required by bylaw regulations, I think we
Right,
probably meant
that's-
20-inch.
I gotta test, it's not real.
Yes.
Oh,
And a
so
couple
the
of the,
the two little dots?
yeah. two of them.
Okay.
No, I told him it was tiny. And then there was one line where, Caitlin put, Mr. Petrosi stated he would have Goddard prepare something to address.
Well, I put this together because I was the only person
Right.
there for that.
Right, so to address something, I'm not sure.
That's why I was scrambling to do minutes.
He would have Goddard address something to, and this was just after talking about me requesting supplement, supporting information, including what vegetation was currently in place and why the basin could not be moved as it was not included in the waiver request he had submitted, which basically admitted tonight was the fact he had two engineers and they didn't talk to each other and they were him, and then one didn't think to tell him it's gonna have to be moved. So I'm not sure if that part is the address, and then,
Wait, I
so,
just pulled it up.
sure, yeah.
So what section are you?
Page 2 near the top with a big paragraph there.
Yep,
Fourth sentence down. Or fourth line, I should say.
No, we're a little further than that.
Well, that's the construct basin in the, oh, I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah, so about a third of the way down, it says the agent also identified lack of vegetative information provided. Mr. Petrosi.
Yes.
So anyway, just before that, it says, Mr. Petrosi stated he would have Goddard prepare something to address. A letter, stamp on an envelope, I don't know. So I assume that would
maybe
be.
address that concern.
Yeah.
Address those concerns, yeah. It's about the basin not being moved, which I.
Yeah, that's.
Okay, and a little further down, the commission needs an E, you know.
Yep, did you see the request that he identified all trees over 20 feet?
Yeah.
And the 10 foot too, yeah. And then further down, he does say 6 inch, so it's like, okay, you got it later.
But I think it's just, she probably didn't recognize.
Yeah, no problem. On page 3, it's just and instead of and, no big deal. The bottom, just above continued public hearing, Mechanic Street. There's a sentence, the property owner is scheduled to return June 10th with proposed planning plan and the agent would draft and enforcement order. But otherwise, I look at that. I'll let him yell.
Oh, beautiful. Look at
I
that.
hardly let him yell just in case you don't want to have to all done.
That's helpful.
So,
Thank you.
yeah.
All right, that's all I have. Anybody else have anything else for minutes, either the 8th or the 22nd, since both were on the portal, even though one, or the other agenda. Even though it is, no, both are in the portal, but only one is on the agenda, but we could do both. There's no reason not to do the 22nd as well. If people don't want to postpone it, or you can postpone it. Your choice, people.
So moved.
What? I give 2 options. You have to pick one before you can move it.
Accept them. Subject to the edits we just gave.
No, but which minutes? Both, okay. So we have motion to, looking for a second. Action. Thank you, James. So we have motion and a second to approve minutes for the 8th as amended and the 22nd of April as amended, and
Aye.
all in favor, say aye. Nicole,
Aye.
Don,
Hi,
Pam. Minutes, Pam,
You
minutes.
hear me fall asleep?
No, sorry. I forgot I was muted. Aye.
Okay, thank you. Ariane,
Aye.
Don. I'm sorry, Diane, I know we did Don's name. Steve, aye, James.
Aye.
All right, okay, no, okay, minutes are done.
all
Thank
right,
you.
we got the minutes done. Now we have.
28 Edge Hill Road, Edge Hill Lane, emergency certification ratification
Mhm.
vote. So this is to approve a couple of trees that were emergency certified. I was a little confused on like the picture. There are some that are clearly outside 100 foot, which they can do if they want to. But then I
Yeah,
thought there
so
were
I can
two. but only
clarify.
one. Okay,
So
thank you.
there's 2 emergency certifications on here that I issued and that you can vote to ratify or not.
And we'll put trees back up.
Yeah, the 28 Edge Hill Lane, they requested I come out. There was a couple ones that they wanted to remove. I took a look. The wetland area is kind of right behind their fence. I took my tape, I measured 100 feet. All the ones in the front, I was like, you can do that without a permit, you're good. There's 2 on the side that you would need an RDA for. They're not clearly dead, dying, falling. Like you'd need
Good.
a arborist report and an RDA to take those down. And then there was one tree within like 75 feet that was clearly dead, full leaning towards house
That's the
driveway.
picture that you described.
The big one.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I can give you emergency certification for this one, but anything else you'd have to get more permitting for. They were like, okay, we're gonna wait on the permitting for anything. We're just gonna do the ones in the front and this one, because this is the one we're really concerned about in the first place.
Are there
anyways.
dead ones in the front? Like, are they?
No, but they're outside of our jurisdiction. so we can't.
So they were just probably like, the guy's coming, I'll do as much as I can.
Yeah.
People
exactly.
get so freaked out by trees that really are
Yes,
a problem.
Yep.
it's a bummer, but yeah, so that was that one. I don't know if you guys want to vote to ratify that.
I will make a motion to vote to ratify. What's the address?
28 Edgehill Lane,
28 Edge Hill Lane,
emergency service.
emergency certification.
Thank you.
I will make a second to vote to ratify.
All right, we have motion second. Any other comments? Hearing and seeing none. Nicole?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Don?
Aye.
Ariane?
Aye.
Steve? James?
Aye.
Mike, okay, good, thank you.
All right, and then the second one was on Crystal Way.
Couldn't see the pictures. I was looking, I saw a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, the picture, I must have like not,
Yeah, that's
not
okay.
done it,
It's
there,
okay.
but there's one dead tree that it's right across from the houses and the roadway, or not across, but like the houses are here, the roadway's here, the dead tree is like right there, and they're significantly, and it was completely dead, so they requested to remove that one.
Were there lines that could be hit too? Like, it was the other side of the street, right? So
Yeah. No problem.
no problem.
But was this, the people that were most gonna be affected were across the street, was it their property to take? Who's gonna
It's
go
like a
across?
condo complex,
Yeah, that's
so
what I'm
the
thinking,
property
main
management
company.
company requested
Okay,
it,
alright.
Sharon
Yep.
Tree,
Alright.
requested it for them.
Sure,
Okay.
I saw Sharon Tree on
Makes
that.
sense.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Where in that complex is it from?
Yeah.
You come off,
Yeah.
come off Mechanic Street, it's just.
I should
the
have
first one will
just
left,
marked
I
it
think.
up, but I already inserted it in there and I was
Yeah,
like, I
page
don't wanna
6.
reinsert that, but yeah. If you go on page 6, it's like the second group of those 2 units to the left.
Leaning maple or leaning willow?
I'm gonna open this up. I don't know what you mean.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's written there.
So,
It's the leaning willow one?
Leaning Willow. There's also Pine Row.
so it's not anything that's circled.
Oh.
That's why I put that note in there. This was from a previous application
Oh.
they did. That was an RDA, because that was also, they did a couple things in a previous RDA, but it's not even one of the planted trees. It's just a pine tree that's also in there, that's like located right here, right in between these.
Okay.
That's
So-
within.
Well, you saw it. It's clearly dead.
Yep.
It's a leaning,
So-
so
If you look
safety.
here, it
Oh,
is
this-
within buffer zone.
I leave it all up.
I know, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Sure, why not?
Okay, so we've seen the information that Hannah provided.
I'll make a motion to approve the emergency certification, or ratify the emergency certification for Crystal Way.
I'll second that.
Nice, motion second, any other discussion? No? All right. James,
Aye.
Steve. Aye. Ariane,
Aye.
Dan.
Aye.
Don.
Aye.
Nicole.
Aye.
Mike, aye. All right, yeah, so thank you. 30 Stone Street, request for full certificate of compliance after their grass finally grew in the front yard over the septic system. And, you know, Irma Bombeck said, grass always green on the other side of the septic system.
I can send this around too. This is the enforcement order for 445 Hartford Ave. So I did print it out. So I'll make the changes, but you guys can sign this one. But I won't have to do that electronically.
I think it's property. Pull out that pen.
All right, yes, so this is the COC for 30 Stone Street. This is the one.
Way up in the north end of town.
Yeah, way up in the north end of town. They were redoing the septic system. There's a couple issues, but figured it out. Everything was good by the time the new owners moved in.
But that was until like August or something. I saw something on the
Yeah,
plan.
so then they tried to do the lawn and the lawn wasn't in place enough to be like, yeah, you can take the erosion controls out, but now there's more lawn, so good to go, basically, because we gave the partial certification of certificate of compliance.
So you only have to
So
sign,
this is just to complete it.
so when we sign that, we
Yeah.
just sign the second half of our names instead of the first half of the partial.
Yeah, right? But yes, so this would just be a vote to issue the full certificate of compliance for 30 Stone Street.
Oh, she said everything, so we just said station.
So
So moved by, right?
Seconded.
All right, moving to second, any other discussions? Very good. Seeing none. Pam,
I
Nicole,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Aaron,
Aye.
James, Steve.
No, I'm gonna make a stand
All
on it.
right. Thank you very much.
And before we leave,
Before.
the only other thing is, I put it in the email to everybody, but just trying to coordinate a site visit for. Somebody wanted us to do, there's a project upcoming for Well Free that's on Rentham Road, and then, National Grid is looking to do a bunch of, free maintenance, but there are a couple areas where they showed a lot of cutting of trees, so there was a little bit of concern of like, okay, is this maintenance or are
Yeah,
you
these
just
are-
removing trees?
That's the one that you emailed about.
Yeah, I got a little bit of pushback from them about filing an RDA. They were saying, okay, like, let's just take a walk and see if you guys still think that that's necessary. Like, come see these areas to see whether you still think it's necessary. Because the list of trees, the list of trees.
A spot in the regulations that say that you're not covered. Kind of busy.
So I'm just looking, if anybody wants to come out and do that, you can. If not, I'll just go do it myself and.
RDA should now stand for really, dude, awesome.
You're gonna be like, I'm kind of busy, can you just send me the citation that makes you exempt?
I did just try to do that in conversation.
Well, it sounds like they don't have it, so it's gonna be busy now.
I'm just telling you how the conversation went, so that's something you can push or not, but his resolution was, okay, come, because the list of trees he gave me was a lot, but that was for all of them, not necessarily in our jurisdiction. So he was like, can we just come look at this? And I was like, okay.
But if
So-
some are in our jurisdiction, those ones that are in our jurisdiction are covered, so it's like. Did you have a chance to look at it? Did you?
Not commenting.
Yeah, it's potential conflict of interest.
Can't even just
No.
say your hypothetical opinions hypothetically.
Yeah. Nah.
Yeah.
Okay, so one other thing I would thank you all for is you all seem to have responded. Hannah's got now the complete and most accurate.
We just gotta
email.
finish what Hannah was asking, right? Just to close it. So
Yeah,
what do
he
you- what do we wanna do?
if people have interest, I'll write names
If I'm
down and put
available,
it-
I'll come in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so is there anybody else that wants to come, or are they kind of like, whatever?
Well, depending when it is, if I'm available, sure.
Okay.
yeah, it would depend on when it is.
Great, so I will try to set up like 1 or 2 dates, see if there's availability.
Yep.
People can come, great, if they can't. so
Yep.
yeah. Okay. All right.
Two things quickly. Sorry, guys.
Sure.
One, do we have to do anything about those emails we've been getting from the town?
No, that was
We've been getting emails.
Mr. Months. Hannah, I asked you about it. Why were we getting notified about that?
Oh, yes.
Somehow they put Concom on.
Have a new,
I'm
I'll
on it.
chat with him about it. We have a new building inspector who is actively like notifying Concom of new building permits and stuff, which is really great, and using Permanize super effectively. There was some issues with their system, like allowing people to sign off on stuff. So the office manager was just sending the listserv email out saying, hey, can you guys sign off on this? We're having trouble with Permanize. So I responded to all of it. We're
Good. I wasn't
Okay,
getting any of
perfect.
them,
It
so.
wasn't needed.
yeah.
The other thing I wanted to bring up is on the conservation land that I've confirmed with Hannah that is ours. There recently has been some large encroachment, ATVers cutting down branches, digging holes, littering, like some large stuff. I had kind of discussed with Hannah. I sent her a lot of pictures. Um,
Where is it, Pam? Where?
It's right next to Stallbrook. So it's behind Stallbrook on the
Yep.
so there's like the school land, then there's the conservation land, then there's the church land. It's definitely
Yeah.
on the
On the-
like our conservation land.
Yep. Wow, I
So-
was just there like two weeks ago. I didn't
That's
see
because
it.
Was it
they,
you?
that's because they have the
Yeah.
well
Yeah.
pits over there, so there's
Yeah.
ATVers and dirt, and there's an electric right away that goes back there
Yep.
too.
Yeah, there was a lot of trails. I just didn't see.
Yeah.
For kids on dirt bikes.
Yep.
Well, judging the amount of beers I've been seeing back there, I don't think it's kids on dirt bikes. So
Oh.
I was
Bike
hoping
in this town.
Bellingham
Yes,
kids.
it is.
we could address it, or Hannah could help me come back there, and because the things they're like dug a deep hole. I don't know why. They have been like cutting branches down. I'm worried that like they're gonna get more and more brazen and start doing stuff
You
to
make tiger
trees.
trap.
Right, building a fort,
What's that?
probably building a
A
fort.
fort or a trap for something?
Was there a fire pit
Millennium
there?
luxury
It
home.
seemed like maybe they were doing like a jump, but it seems like a really wild place to have a pit because it seems like if you fell in it in your ATV or bike, you'd get really hurt. But it was like a jump and then a big
That's
pit.
all part of the fun.
I was gonna say.
I was trying to look at your email, but I think you sent it over text.
Yeah, I texted it
That's
to you,
what,
sorry.
okay, because I was looking for that earlier and I was like, I can't find that.
Oh,
But,
that reminds
yeah.
me of.
Yeah, so it's on the stall.
I'll reach out to this.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I mean, I told Pam we could probably put up some signage, maybe if people want to walk out there to go put up signage and potentially take some of their stuff.
At night with tasers.
And then,
I think you need more than a
could
taser.
escalate to the police and stuff, like if it just keeps going and nobody does anything, but yeah.
Unfortunately, that's not the only place in town that's like that. I'm sure there's plenty of others.
Well, certainly, but those are
Yeah, but yep, you spotted it. That's good to know.
well that and the I've been kind of back and forth with that principal of elementary school, keeping that gate open so people can access those trails to walk because it is listed as like I don't think on sp open space, but as a walking trail in like the local books. And I know people do come there to walk, so I like it's my eventual goal that that gets onto open space because it's so lovely back there. But yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe the open space people have some ideas about what might be effective for trying to at least notify people if going to deter somebody that this is not an area to trash. And,
Weigh in, Arian, as the open space person.
yes, I know. I'm just saying other people in the group, maybe as you bring this particular location up, maybe somebody's got, oh, we could try over. Anyway, okay, those are two things. Do you have a third thing or only two?
No, that's it. That's all my things. Done.
All right, thank you. We had, as I said, noted here, Steve and James have updated their emails and phone numbers, stuff. That's great. And it's from down here. Are you providing this typed up version to somebody, or are you just giving me the handwritten version and I'll do it?
I was giving it to you.
Okay, that's fine. I'm happy to do it. You do so much. I can redo that. I'll send it out to everybody on the commission. So just the most current email, phone numbers, stuff like that. I do remember when some former board members would refuse to have cell phones, and when we went for sidewalks, that was okay as long as you got there with them, stayed in sight. But once you were out of sight or you arrived late, like I did once, you had to listen for the voices in the woods. That I was actually successful, and it was down at the end of Matty Way there.
There was one I showed up to and I just couldn't find guys, so I went home.
There is that
I
option.
wonder if that was one of the well ones, when we were in the woods for 2 hours.
You didn't try a Marco Polo?
Where was this? Come. Okay. If,
I thought they were supposed to be at this property. And I'm like checking my phone, like, yeah.
I move to close the meeting and go to sleep.
well,
Yeah, me too.
unless, you do have something else? You said you want to wait? Okay, right. I'll accept the motion to adjourn, Pam.
I just moved. Yes, I moved
Yeah,
to adjourn.
Second.
From Pam. Second, we have Ariane. Nicole,
Hi.
Don,
Hi.
Ariane,
Hi.
James.
No.
Okay.
You can stay here, James.
And Pam.
Aye.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Good night,
Thank you,
everyone.
Hannah.
Bye.